Steam Workshop Bullet Magnet. He has joined us on the Anvil server, and he has quite a repertoire of builds on the Steam library. He spells his name BULL3TMAGN3T.
That's right.
So there you go. So that's Bullet Magnet.
Friends
And
make it elite.
that's right. Some good old-fashioned leet speak. Now it just makes us look like Gen Xers when we talk like that. You
Yeah,
know that.
so old. So old now. Ridiculous. Where the hell did time go?
Exactly. Exactly. But let me ask you a question, man. When did you start playing Empyrean for the first time?
I started this game back in, I'll say back when it was alpha, but it's somewhere in the area of, I want to say like 1.5 or no, zero point 0.5 or something like that. It was way back in the day.
And
Um,
that was what? Like, what was that?
it's like
Like,
2017,
that's a long
2018.
time. Okay. I mean, you've been in the game a long time. You've seen a lot of changes, haven't you?
Been through a lot of different patches and updates and whatnot, and have
Uh-huh.
to update ships all along with it, and sometimes scrap them and build some new ones as well. So it's just, yeah, it's been a learning curve. It's been an
Okay.
experience.
Okay. Now, of course, just like everybody else, you got your feet wet in vanilla.
hmm
How many years you reckon you got under your belt in vanilla?
Actually, I think the vast majority of my time
Okay.
is in the inside vanilla game, with some of the other additional time being from Project Eden.
Uh-huh.
The
Uh-huh.
only thing I haven't really done is Reforge, only because it's an entirely new build scheme, entirely new CPU costs and numbers and metrics and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I only got so much time to do things. So unfortunately, I haven't spent a whole lot of time learning Reforge. I've been mostly focusing on vanilla and
Okay.
Project Eden. So because it doesn't change around all the base mechanics, I've gotten most of it in my head already. So I can.
Have you played Project Eden? Have you played that scenario specific?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Project
Okay.
Eden specifically. Yep.
Because see, all I've ever done is vanilla, and then I went straight to the deep end, or whatever you want to call with Reforged Eden. So I
Yes.
was just, if I can ask you, in your opinion, what do you like about uh, Project Eden versus Reforge? Is there any pluses or minuses, or do you think Reforge is kind of a good combination and probably better together with Vermilion stuff?
I
What do you
mean, I
think?
all for people enjoying the game however they want to. I mean, they
Yeah.
put it together and they've allowed, or people put together mods on it, and I mean,
Hmm.
you paid your money, you enjoy the game the way you want to play it.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
for me, I like the. I don't mind that the numbers and the base mechanics and everything like that the devs have already come up with for the base game, and I think
Uh huh.
Project Eden just went ahead and expanded upon it and added more things to the game without having to completely rewrite and rechange like the mechanics and rebalance things.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
So I like vanilla. I like the Project Eden. I haven't played with Reforging, so I can't comment on it. But I mean, there's a lot of people that.
Okay.
So I mean, if you like it, keep playing it.
So you've never played Project Eden by itself.
Forged Eden
You
by itself. Project.
pardon?
I've played Project Eden, which uses the
Okay.
base numbers and mechanics. It's just
Okay.
Reforged completely takes and flips that on its head. And I haven't done anything with Reforged yet.
Okay, okay, okay. So, when you started Reforged Eden, did you start with a single play game, or did you just say you just go balls to the wall and join a multiplayer server?
With most games, I usually end up going through single player first, so can I get an idea of like, well, this is where materials are. This is the
Uh,
build tree and things
right.
like. I get the base mechanics down, and then after that, I'll hop on with friends or hop on a multiplayer server or
Uh-huh.
things of that nature and get together and just figure out what needs to be done and start working on it. So whether it be whether it be mining or engaging in piracy or what have you, it's just
Mhm. Mhm.
figure out what needs to be done, and I'll get something built around that, and then I'll start going out there and accomplishing it.
Okay. Okay. So what we're going to be seeing today is exclusive vanilla builds.
They'll work in vanilla. They'll also work in
Oh.
Project, but not Reforged.
Okay.
Once again, Project Eden uses the exact same mechanics as basic Empyrean, so you don't have to really do a whole lot of
Uh huh.
finagling. You just add more stuff to it, basically.
Okay.
Um, yeah, with Reforged though, from what I've seen with Reforged, I've had some friends take some of my builds and put them in Reforged, and I mean
Uh-huh.
the numbers will still work in theory.
Uh-huh.
Some of them might require some quantum cores because a lot of it is still just they're all the ships I end up building are usually in with CPU limits, weight and
Mm-hmm.
volumes, mechanics will work
Mm-hmm.
within those, and they're also within vanilla weapons limits as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that if at least for me, if you're going to be able to download something off the workshop, it should be able to work with the base game at least, the way I see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you should be able to, yeah. So as soon as you install the game, you can download anything from my workshop, put it in place, and be able to use it, and it'll work within the restrictions for it, as it were.
Okay.
And then, I mean, you can always, if you want to add like 3,000 artillery turrets to something, and you don't care about CPU limits, you just shove 3,000 artillery turrets on it and have
There you
yourself a
go.
ball. You
There
know?
you go. Wherever there's a block to stick it.
Exactly. You got space. You got real estate to put stuff on there. You go for it.
That's right. Artillery on top of artillery. Just a big top hat of artillery. So you're playing on the Anvil server this season, right?
No, they're playing Reforged Eden. I have not been on the Anvil server this season. No, sir.
Oh, okay. So you're basically an Anvil citizen that kind of hangs out and talks. Have you ever had uh, a want to try the Reforged multiplayer experience?
Maybe at some point, but it's one of those
Okay.
things where I would need to play the game first on my own for a bit, figure out what the
Sure.
numbers are, the
Sure.
mechanics are, and then try to
Sure.
modify stuff that I have so it'll work. So
Okay. Okay. Well,
it's something
cool.
I'd like to do, but it's just I haven't had the time to do it per se.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah. It's hard, man. It's a hard world in Reforged. Uh,
It's definitely a transitional period when you've got over 2,000 plus hours in standard to then
yeah,
just ignore everything you've learned previously and then completely start over from scratch. So
yeah, yeah.
I haven't had time yet to really want to take up that challenge. Eventually, at some point, it will.
I
But
think the
as
big
for
thing is the Xerax got smarter. Boy, howdy,
they got smarter, they got themselves some better weapons.
Well, I did
Apparently, keep
figure
up
out a
with.
little trick, like if I'm going through a POI in Reforged Eden, what I'll do is just shoot a bullet down the hall, and that usually kind of gets them ruffled up. So
Okay.
there's little things you can do to kind of make them come running when you want them. You know what I mean? That's not to say I'm a good Twitch player. I'm just saying that. But anyways, okay.
Sure.
So we're going to look at your vanilla builds, and we're going to
Yeah.
definitely hope that you're interested in Reforged Eden sometime in the future, and we're going to further hope that you'll be wanting to play multiplayer, hopefully with the Anvil crew, because you be in real good company, man. So,
I
anyways,
appreciate that. That sounds
yeah,
fun here.
man.
Hopefully so.
Well,
Um,
it's just one of those things that we love builders. We're an active community. We're an active community, and I mean, you seem like a sociable person, and we really like that in members. That we talk and do, get together and fight stuff together. But so what we got here? What's this one?
this is one of the I think it's probably the second build I've ever put together that I wanted to build like
Ah,
something small and as an small-ish as an exploration vessel, a
right,
multi-purpose here, a one and done.
right.
So yeah, I think this is build number 2. So this thing is about oh, I don't know, better part of 2 years old, 2.5 years old. Probably built that coming off of
Wow.
5 or
So this
6
is a
or so.
moldy oldie, huh?
Yes, I
Right
admit it
on.
might have had some slight upgrades to it at some point because I
Uh
know I
huh.
was trying to go back and update a couple of these guys with like retractable turrets and whatnot, but I'm not sure if he
Right.
got that treatment or not. It's been a bit,
Right.
but yeah, starting off early. Most of my stuff was kind of based on the idea of function over form.
I
So
got you. I got you. It does have some nice stylized lines though. I like the little nacelles here on the side for your engines. That looks really cool.
thank you.
And it looks like it's got a real good footing when you land it, you know. Let's
Yeah,
see. I'm going to turn my light on if that's okay. All right.
I wanted to take and I
I
wanted to
like
make
what you
sure
did with the landing gear. That's cool.
I wanted to
I
give
like.
license base to make sure it can land it or land on it, not look like it's gonna fall over or something like that immediately.
Right. Right. Wouldn't it
That's
be great if they had auto levelers? You know, you could land on a planet and hit a button. It's like,
we should add to this game is the ability to land on water effectively and have buoyancy mechanics.
yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
Greatly factor into some of my design kind of ideology later on, especially with
Uh-huh.
the ships, is that after watching too much Cowboy Bebop, eventually you sometimes need to land on the planet, and
Dude,
sometimes you
that's
don't.
my favorite space anime, dude. Cowboy Bebop. I've
Yeah, so
watched that. Yeah.
along with those, most of my future ships is just I've painted them so that way, or kind of designed them like if you had to in an emergency, you need to land this thing on water. It
Mm-hmm.
theoretically looks like it could be buoyant enough to support itself or float.
Right, right.
This is early bay. Want to make sure I can get like a tanker, a fighter, or something, multiple things in
Mm-hmm.
here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was also one of, well, not the first ship I've had, but one of the earlier ships adopting signal mechanics and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the whole world opens up to you in design once you figure out how signals and signal mechanics and lights and stuff like that work out.
Right on. 2.5-year-old build.
2.5-year-old build, gotta have easy
Wow.
access. You got a
Yeah.
personnel ramp with all your materials and stuff like that
Oh,
here.
yeah. Nice. Yeah. I like how you did the shutters here. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
That's nice.
necessity. What was it? Necessity is the mother of invention. When
Yeah.
they give you odd angles, you got to figure out what to do with them. So, so there
Well,
you go.
the thing is, having multiple shutters like that just increases your damage threshold. That's a
Yeah,
number of shutters to mess with. So.
and just it also helps to maintain air tightness as well, which is a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. You do some things like that with ramps to give you some angles and whatnot, but after
Mm-hmm.
that, you're just like, well, you're gonna vent all this atmosphere into space. That ain't no fun. There. Yeah, I gotta get better with lighting.
Bill, I do want to say something here, Bullet.
Yeah,
They're talking at great lengths about having an Anvil vanilla server. So
I
I did want to put that to you, you know.
I've played here before when there was vanilla servers running. I'd be welcome them bringing them back. I think
Well,
it's
here's the thing. I think they're trying to find some admins that will do the vanilla angle, because all the admins do Reforge, you know.
oh yeah,
So,
bridge
oh
deck,
yeah, nice.
bridge deck and teal lighting that'll become almost a standard later on as time progresses. I think.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
So after going back through some of these old ones now, I kind of cringe a bit because other builders point out stuff like that, things like little odd wall groupings and um, how should I put it, groupings. The flow of the inside and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that seems odd. A lot of flat angles,
Right, right.
a lot of boxiness interior, stuff like that. It's just
Well,
the
this is your second. This is your second build, bro. I think we understand. This is the
yeah.
first. Now, now you've put this on the blueprints, correct? This is in the workshop.
Oh yeah, this
So,
is
okay.
this is on my workshop. It's old obviously. It's from
Right,
way back in the day. But
right.
part of me wants to go back and update a couple of these old guys and see if we can give them some new life with the new
Mhm.
update and the new edition of the game here. Total
Right on.
rework of the interiors and stuff like that.
Right.
Um, and then also with just the numbers and CPU and stuff, just kind of bring them a little bit more into compliancy, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because back in the day, I was a huge fan of medium thrusters because medium thrusters will allow you to kind of do a little bit more hull shaping and give you all the thrust you could hope for,
Right.
what you want to get
Right.
moving.
I
But
gotcha.
since since changes have come into place and since they've changed how CPU works and all the other fun stuff, it's just they're not quite as practical as they used to be. So,
Right. Now in vanilla,
mhm.
would this have all four extenders? Would this be two, one? What tier
uh,
would this be?
right now she's sitting at about 1.1 million CPUs. I believe it puts her right at tier 3.
Tier three.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, but there's I mean, depending on after looking at things, depending on how it's worked, this is since it's like an entry level vessel, or not entry level, but like a mid range kind of explorer or something like that. It's not really
Uh-huh.
built for a lot of combat.
Right,
Pardon
right.
me.
This is for hauling and going places, looking at stuff, and
Yeah,
running from
exactly.
things.
Running from
I'm
things.
just browsing around. Is that cool if
No, please do.
I'm
Yeah,
just
keep going.
yeah, I'm just and
It's
Got the light off here.
she's spread out across. It's spread all the major things are spread out across. I think 3 major decks in this ship. You've got up at the very top. There's a small little island area because with a
Mm-hmm.
flat top you can land fighters or what have you on here to take with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Second on the second deck, there's a engineering space at the back, along with a major constructor bay, service bay, storage,
Mm-hmm.
your med bay, and I believe what else is here? Crew quarters. And then your third deck area is like fuel storage, engineering, your grow bay towards the front of the vessel,
Yep.
and underneath that is all your storage in your hangar.
Right on.
So kind of like I say kind of like the let's say Fire or Serenity from Firefly. It's a front hangar doored like large capacity, just kind of like basically freighter ship.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I think, I mean, just kind of looking at it now and hindsight being 2020 and whatnot, I'm pretty sure if I were to go back over this today, I could lower the combat steel hull down to probably just regular steel.
Uh-huh.
You can
Uh-huh.
get yourself take a couple of the thrusters out of the bottom and replace them
Mm-hmm.
with maybe a large or two on either or large on either side.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And that would probably get you down to almost to the point where you'd be at a CPU tier 2. And you
Gotcha.
could, yeah. And then, well, also the other thing too, I guess, would be to swap out all your boxes on the inside with actual controllers and
Oh
get some more
yeah.
practical use out of this thing.
Right, right. But I mean, we're looking at the equivalent of a 1964 Chevrolet Impala. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, in computer years, right? Like dog years.
she's a
Yeah,
she's
you
an early
know.
yeah she's an oldie. She's an early model. She's a little bit
That's right.
dated at this point in time,
That's
but
right. That's
I
right.
guess
This is old Detroit steel right here. So
exactly.
yeah.
These are like these are like the World War I era dreadnoughts on my line of ships that I created. So they're just
Exactly.
a little bit dated, a little bit old. That's all right. I can get updated and brought back
No,
into
no,
usefulness.
but I mean that's exactly, the kind of stuff we want to take a look at. We want to see where people started with and then kind of move forward. Now, I
Yeah.
am looking for
Hmm.
the maybe no. I
Okay.
was looking for the top deck. I am in the
Oh,
blue
there's
carpeted room.
let me see if we can find you in here. Nope.
I'm
There's
in the
crew.
room with the
Probably towards the front
brunette
in the bridge
lady.
area.
Yeah.
Oh, here you are. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to head back this way.
Yeah, which way do I go to? Ah, okay.
Oh,
All
this way.
right.
There's to where the other area
Ah,
came from was underneath this little bridge area here, to
okay.
your behind you here. And then you've got stairs down
Okay.
here,
Yep,
and
I've been
stairs, and
down
then
there and took a look. Oh,
over here is your
okay. Did I miss it? Hold on a
oh,
minute.
that's a crew cabin.
Oh, okay.
Let me see. I want to say it's back this way.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember where the main turbo lift is to get to where you need to go in this place. It's been a while. Yeah, here we go. Let's do it.
Ah,
Wait, no, he won't.
no.
It's Jeffrey's tube access. All right, well, I'm gonna cheat and
Okay.
be right over here. There we are. Okay. It's this main one right in front of the engineering
Okay.
room, if you will. There.
I'm at the grow room.
Oh, okay. So you want to go there? Just want to go back to upstairs.
Upstairs, you got it.
Yeah, this is definitely early because nothing makes sense navigation-wise.
Ah,
And then
okay.
we'll go this way here, just kind of underneath the bridge.
Underneath here, okay.
It's this turbo lift area right here.
Ah,
Yeah, I know. Me too. It's just like, where is this thing? Let's get you up to the top.
there we go. Okay. All right.
The top's
Now
just
we're
a
talking.
big flat
Gotcha.
top area, so you can land a couple SVs up here.
Right
Makes some
on.
sense.
Oh yeah, you got a mining turret. You got a salvage turret. You got a mining turret. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
these turrets came along a little bit later too. I think these were added after around point 8 or something like that. It's
Right,
been a while.
right.
So yeah, it's been updated once, but it hasn't been I don't think it's been updated since. So she needs a little bit of love. But Yeah, this is ship number 2, I want to say,
Okay.
that I constructed.
All right.
Um, moving along,
Yeah.
the next like major ships I'm gonna be pulling out are all the same,
Okay.
okay, line of ships, if you want to call it that,
All right.
in my
I'm gonna
little
turn my
fleet
back.
navies.
Let me know when you've spawned it in. I'll turn around and.
Yeah, I've got 2 or 3 in this line that I'll pull. Well, 3 or 4, I guess, in this line. But they were all basically like ships of the fleet. So you had science vessels, you had transports, you had
Hmm.
attack ships, you had
Have you ever done
everything.
any damage blueprints to assess block damage and look at stuff? We've been doing that in Reforged Eden a little bit. I
Oh,
didn't know
really?
if anybody else has done it. You know, you can save a brute blueprint as a damage state. You know, people.
I haven't saved any damage states. Although now that
Yeah.
you bring those up, I kind of be interested to do just for
Yeah, yeah.
shits and grins.
Listen, next time you're doing some ship to ship and you've taken some damage, do a save because we had a lot of fun. I did some streams last season in Reforged Eden, my buddy. We would
Hmm.
spawn the actual ship and then how I flew it all crazy and screwed it up. You know, where it failed and stuff. But anyways,
Yeah,
uh
I got all 5 of the major ones thrown in here. So if you like, wherever you are, if you turn around, you should see the big gray blobs floating out there.
all right. Ah, okay. The Gibraltar.
Yep, these had
Nice.
5 major ships that are all kind of in the same line. I guess you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Same idea. We've got
Now
the
that's
Gibraltar.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
I can definitely tell that you've moved forward with shapes here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah. You've done and you've really worked on putting a shape together. And I wouldn't say traditional, but kind of like the style that a lot of folks are. You know, it's coming together less blocky. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's and this was built around built back around 2008. So I want to say it's like Alpha 7 or something along those lines.
Uh
So,
huh. Uh huh.
so shapes that we take for granted today, we still didn't have yet. So
Right.
not to not to excuse some of the design choices, because some of them are a little bit off, but yeah,
Right.
some of the actual shaping that I would have liked to do, you can't actually do because the shape just wasn't available yet. So it's
Right.
just
Right.
the best of make the best of whatever situation you got available to you, as it were.
Uh huh.
Yeah, this was the Gibraltar was supposed to be like a heavy cruiser, and this one was
Mhm.
up all the way up, partially updated through I want to say Alpha 8 or so, because I think that's when they gave us collapsible turrets.
Ah, so that's when you showcased the hideaway turrets.
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah.
my thought, I'm like it's my thought it's like a Federation ship. So Federation ship just doesn't come in guns blazing everywhere on everything. They kind of
Right. Right.
they like going
It's like putting your gun away, right? In the old West. You're like,
in it.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
you holster your weapons. You don't just come out guns blazing. Sends
That's
the wrong
right.
order. Or sends the
That's
wrong
right.
idea.
That's right. That's right. You want to show up friendly.
So I started incorporating some basic design things like the like kind of like radar dish or deflector dish type of thing in the front. So
Mhm.
almost all the major ships here have like some that little blue circle in the front to help it kind of navigate a little bit, quote unquote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I think all the other ones in here had too had like red stripes just as a signifier. But
Right.
the reason in particular for the Gibraltar, I bring this one up now because I did a redesign this guy back in Alpha 10.
Uh-huh.
So by going through this one here later on, when you see the sister ship, it'll show like how much like the interior was changed, the design exterior was changed, stuff like that.
Right.
Um,
I'm
but
just getting a good look underneath here.
yeah,
I like how you did the landing gear.
trucks, I can
Yeah.
think trucks at this point with multiples to support like something that weighs this much. You'd
It,
almost have
it
to.
yeah, it gives it a real strong look with those landing gear definitely.
This is where I also started to kind of implement the same kind of standard. I want to say standardized hole shaping, but the same type of hole shaping where if this thing were to land on water, it would theoretically, like at least I like to
Uh-huh.
think, would be somewhat buoyant based upon its shape.
Right, right.
Kind of carry over to, I want to say, most, if not all, the other ships that I've created in here to some degree. The ones that can
Mhm.
theoretically operate within a planet's atmosphere. Our engineers that way is just like, oh, an emergency, we can put this thing down in some water and not die immediately.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
And
yeah,
I'm just doing a nice slow pan inside here.
plan developers will be
Oh.
listening. Water buoyancy, water landing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Being able, yeah, yeah. It's really bad when you put your uh, CV down and then you get out of your seat and you realize you're underwater and you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, that watertight doesn't apply to airtight as well for these
yeah,
things.
yeah. That's kind of not cool.
Let's see, let me throw some extenders in here because that might actually get this thing to turn on properly.
Okay.
This is it's a little bit old since this is prior to alpha or alpha 1 or 1.1 or whatever we're in right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, this was built as a primarily spaceborne, but also I guess it can answer atmosphere as well. It had enough thrust parameters to do so, but
Mhm.
since it has been updated, this one in particular has been updating a little bit. I'm not sure thrust wise it would work out as well today. I know
Right.
I updated some of those thrusters since then, but in space it should work just fine. You had major large bay here. You had door controls in
Mhm.
there. A
Oh yeah.
secondary hangar slash storage area for smaller craft, so you didn't have to quick deploy fighters. You had a bunch of miners. You could just store them back here for later. And then
Right. Right.
when you get down to the plane without having to open up everything, you just hop out one of the side
Oh,
exits.
nice, nice.
It
I
just
like
kind of
that. I
makes
like
sense. Yeah.
that. I like that.
See it. Yeah, it just makes
No,
sense like that to
I
have it.
like the way the shutter. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah. So the what else we got down here? You've got a major constructor workshop where you can get all your major work, well, things constructed, obviously, constructors.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, I've got a couple. What is it here? I got some galleys left and
Mhm.
right.
Oh
Just
yeah.
get something to eat. You got your main turbo lift. This one takes you to storage. Yeah, storage bay here. Back when you could put boxes everywhere and you didn't need to have cargo controllers to like dictate
Right.
how many things you could carry. It wasn't believable, but it was fun back in those days. All I needed was these boxes up here and I'd be set to go.
Right. Right. Now the boxes they've always been the big ones have been 16K storage.
Well, back in the day, it was only based upon like how many squares you had. I mean,
Oh,
as long as you had squares
that's
available, you
right.
just keep shoving stuff in them.
That's
It was
right. That's
it was
right.
ridiculous.
So the squares. That's yeah.
Now it's with this ship, it's a one thing I've kind of taken or took a bit of criticism on and kind of stuck with me is that it's harder to navigate and there's a lot of different passageways here that kind of
Yeah,
go to different
I'm
places
walking
and
through
nowhere.
it. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
walking through it right now. But you got some LCDs going. It's all good.
Yeah, it's a I try to color code, well, at least in these earlier ones and to some degree into later ones too. I try to color code kind of where you're at. So you're
Hmm.
seeing a bunch of green, you're on the starboard side of the vessel. You see a bunch of red, you're
Right.
on the port side of the vessel.
Ah, very nautical.
Yep. I mean,
Gotcha.
it's if you're gonna continue. I mean, hell, airplanes use the same stuff that boats do for
Right.
navigation purposes and lights. Might
Right.
as well extend that to here too. Um, the blue stuff towards the top gets towards your fuel and your command and areas and stuff like that. The yellow in the front there, I think, is your service and your cargo and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and then let's see here. I'm gonna cut up to the bridge deck, mostly because I'm cheating though and I'm flying through stuff.
Yeah.
See if I can, see if I can
I'm
find you
trying
here
to.
and follow you around.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying to do it kind of mind's eye. I don't want to fly through, unless you
Yeah, no,
expressly say, "I want you to look at the guts here and look at," then
no. If anything,
typically
if anything, I need to find you so I can answer questions if you come across anything as you're walking through
I
here.
am on the yellow deck, sir. I
The
was
yellow deck.
getting
Okay.
ready to go through the door to the port side area.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, here we are. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's more port side cargo storage and access.
Mhm. Mhm.
Upstairs you've got wardroom barred area. You've got
Mhm.
your main bridge deck area as well. I can get to up through here. You've got fuel storage if you head aft, and you've got the bridge deck as you head forward, and then you've got
Right. Ah, the rock.
Yep.
Here we go.
We need a canteen on board.
Right
Gotta
on.
get plastered eventually when you're playing with high weapons or heavy weapons and whatnot.
That's true. That's true. Exactly. CIC. Nice. Commander in charge, right?
Yeah, the command information center. Ooh.
Oh, is that what it? Okay. All right. Oh.
Yeah. I love these ammo boxes from back in the day, because once again, it wasn't based upon capacity or volume. It was based upon like however many squares you're using up to however many squares you can use, and that's it. Weight didn't matter. You can shove as much stuff in there as you wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
I've got a torpedo room up front, only because just trying to fill up space once again. Okay.
Right. Torpedo room. Starboard battery. Yeah, the torpedo room. Yes, yeah.
Destroy weapons from way up front, and then did a little bit of extra stuff that wasn't really needed up in the nose, only because you're gonna take fire through here. But if you go through this room when you go down, it's a basically kind of act like a torpedo loading room or something like that.
Oh,
you can walk all the way up to where the actual launchers are. So if you want to manually repair things, you could do that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it doesn't serve any purpose really, but it adds to the atmosphere, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of sparked off my idea of like, if you're gonna be on this ship and you want to be kind of like roleplay wise, or kind of even just immerse yourself even further, it's just like, well, I'm not going to just have something instantaneous to repair everything. I might have to come out
if you've got
and fix it.
If you got buddies and you're playing with on this ship, if you get out of battle, you can stop it and have your buddies or yourself come down here, fix from the inside. Yeah.
A lot of people I play with, we would do stuff like that. We would do as many field repairs as we could, or we'd process and build stuff as we could, because it was just give that sense of realism, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And then only time we were doing major stuff, or if we're gonna like do major repairs, we would then treat it like, all right, we're going back to dry dock then. And we'd find a facility and just do major stuff there.
Right.
And now since they've made it so you like just pay somebody to fix your ship instantaneously, it's much easier.
It is. I'm a cheap bastard though. I hate to do. I loathe to do that, but I like to buy ammo.
Who doesn't like buying ammo?
Exactly, right? Yeah,
I've got time to chop down trees.
Well, I'm right now. I'm currently running 20 advanced constructors on the multi-server, so.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Christ, it's not a warship; it's a manufacturer on there.
It's the CV docking on CV thing. I've been doing this concept because, well, I'm from the South and I'm white trash. And we live in trailers, right? So we've basically, most of my CVs are trailers, and they do very minimal CV things, but very much things that I'm specialized in each one of the trailers for. And then they just hitch on the back like a trailer,
Yeah,
So I got one trailer that's a 20 advanced constructor, it's just a deconstruction pod,
Yeah, so. I mean that makes sense. That goes with the modular build, though. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a modular deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So this whole area up here is basically a fuel bunker / storage area. All this is just basically just casemate and armor to protect the fuel tanks that are all stacked on top of one another inside of there. And then I think this side turbolift here, will take you from all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom into the hangar area.
Yeah.
But this one took me way too long to build early on. When I was more highly motivated, more younger and more highly motivated, with a lot more time to kill, I could pump out one of these guys every couple days.
Right.
Nowadays, I'm just too old and too tired at the end of the workday. I'm just like, I can't do this anymore.
Real life will get you down, man.
Real life gets you. Well, I mean, also on top of that, my taste has kind of changed. I'm like, building the huge warships for fun, and you can do a lot of stuff with them. But after a while, it's just like, I gotta find enough resources to keep this thing fueled and put enough air in it, and build weapons.
Yeah, keeping it gassed up, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
those big builds, man, they do eat it up.
Yeah, you got to put fuel and everything like that in there, and eventually it gets to a
Oh
point where you're
yeah.
like, I don't want to pay the operating costs to keep this thing moving. Let's see if we can get this into a smaller form if I build it a little bit better. And then that's where
Well,
stuff like this ship comes along. The
ah.
Alacrity.
Ah.
Alacrity, she's a little bit, she's not as tall or as
Mm-hmm.
long, I guess. Or she's about as long. She's not as tall, but she's a little bit lighter overall. A bit
Mm-hmm.
more fuel efficient than the Gibraltar is, and can carry I don't know, 2 or 3 vehicles, enough for me to be able to do what I need to do. But it didn't cost nearly as much to run
That's a great
as
shape.
the other one did.
That is a great shape, man. I
I
like
got,
it.
I really do like the shape too. So this is one of the
Yeah.
ones I really want to kind of update and bring forward in the future and kind of streamline just a little bit more because I just do like the body shape on it.
That's nice.
I developed this one also had a power cruising or power saving limit, I guess you want to call it that.
Uh-huh.
With all the thrusters that I have, these side doors would also open and close. There we
Uh-huh.
go. So you'd have 6
Ah.
mediums most of the time, and then if you want to, you can also engage some larges both in front and in back for
Uh-huh.
additional thrust if you had to. So
Do the
you could.
shutters work when you engage the
Oh yeah, there's
are they're logicked up to oh yeah, that's classy, dude. I like
Oh yeah,
that. Yeah. That's
this is
cool.
a.
That's good stuff. That's good I like that. I like that
Yeah,
a
so if you
lot.
need to engage
Yeah.
max thrust to speed up or slow down, you could just take
Yeah.
and disengage and engage those guys.
That's some cool
Um,
role play. That's like it's like flip up headlights on a Corvette. That's just cool shit. You know.
I did with this, and I did with a couple other ships that where like especially ones that would land on the ground and be parked there for a long period of
Uh-huh.
time, so like a
Uh-huh.
base or something like that. I would try to, especially for not necessarily combat vessels, but definitely like civilian-esque ones, I would build in
Hmm.
shutters. So it's just like, all right, we're gonna land, we're gonna power this, the thrusters off, we're gonna be doing
Yeah.
cargo transfers for the next day or whatever it is. Let's go ahead and just close the shutters, power the thrusters down, and all the other fun stuff, and then you can power it all back up later.
In
Just
single
made it
play,
feel more real.
I temporarily got off on tying the sentry guns underneath the CV with the landing gear. So when it
Oh, really?
landed, you know, sentries would pop out. Oh yeah, that I was really hung up on that shit for a
Oh
while.
yeah.
It was cool to be in third person and land and they all pop out. You're like, oh yeah, that's
I
good
got
stuff.
never thought about time to this landing gear. That's pretty slick. I
Yeah,
always
yeah,
I use the signal menu to, well, not in this ship, but on later ships, more current ones. I've got it set up so you can activate either space weaponry and
Mhm.
ground-based weaponry based on where you are,
Mhm.
and it'll turn on and turn off everything, or turn on the same set of weapons for one thing compared to another.
Mhm.
Um, Between that and like outside lights and
Yeah.
sometimes fuel saving stuff, it was all kind of like, huh, how can I make this more efficient and better
Oh
for the
yeah.
end user?
When I seen
So
some builders tying LCDs to where like turrets on and turrets off flash up, I was just like, I'm like, dude, stuff like that. Whoa.
Everyone wants to do stuff like that sometimes, but then especially if I'm building stuff for the challenge, it's just like, all right, well, what am I gonna cut to make sure I can get this thing in on time? And usually it comes
Yeah.
down to the extra stuff like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
This one's got, oh, okay, yeah, this has got an external side or airlock on the side too, in
Mhm.
case you need to disembark. Get your main constructor bay in orange, so it's easy to
Mhm.
find.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, it's more storage. Yeah, as you can see, I've got like a extension, some cargo extensions there. I was playing around earlier with the thought of trying to make this thing like fully compatible for like
Mhm.
10, I think, plus.
Yeah.
But it still didn't have the mechanics or the maneuverability or things that I wanted. So I still need to trim some fat on this thing, as it were. But
Right. Right.
and she also needs a little bit of a visual makeover on the interior because she's still got a
Uh-huh.
decent amount of squared off edges and stuff like that.
Well, again, I mean, you were working. It was it was an older time in builds.
Yeah, different era, different time,
Yep.
but got the job done. I mean,
Yeah.
compared to I think to Gibraltar, this one I think has a bit of a nicer interior, and it's also a
Mhm.
little bit better marked out as to where things are at. I try to put as many little signposts and markers, especially as you get towards like say like C deck especially,
Mhm.
deck on the walls.
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to make sure I've got markers so you can figure out where everything is and get to where
Right, right.
But yeah, the trying to think of anything like cool stuff that's in here. This one has internalized grow bays, and then in order to get to engineering spaces, you have to go through Jeffrey's tubes access or
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey tube accesses to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Only because it's just based on how things were set up in the ship, that's what was needed at the point in time. Yeah, so here's some guy working in the bowels of the ship here to make sure that the generator keeps working
That's right.
and that thrusters keep going.
Aligning the tachyon beams.
Exactly, right?
Keep at it.
So,
Nice.
but something like this, for instance, like this is rocking this 500 watt advanced generator. What the hell it is? The big one, the
Mm-hmm.
biggin generator,
The big boy.
and
Yeah.
the big boy. This ship requires nothing like this size to operate. So back in the day when you didn't have CPU limits, and you're just looking for what's the max amount of power I can get out of something real quick for my
Right.
size. Shove two of those babies in there, and you're good to go.
Right. Right.
Let's see. I think there's another little area here that has access to the front thruster.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You can get in there and work on it and whatnot. But yeah, but as you can, just once again, some of the shaping is just kind of off in the textures for me now. After looking back on it after a couple of years, it just seemed a little bit off. So.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But that's just all time and preference, I think, really.
Right. Right.
Yeah, this is
There's Wi-Fi.
Yep, it's like I say, it got partially updated. I was trying to experiment bringing it up to par and up to snuff, but
Mm-hmm.
compared to the worship standards I had building way back when, compared to the worship standards I have now, this one would get it rocked pretty quick, I think. Like
Gotcha.
one of the ships I'll bring up that actually XCal did a redo of called the Moray, which was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a small attack CV. Basically, it doesn't have any type of
Uh-huh.
major facilities. It's just go out, get stuff, process it, come back.
Right. Right.
I don't think it would survive very well against most of the stuff I've constructed since then,
Mm-hmm.
or at least the combat ships I've constructed since then.
Well, you know, trying to go back and put container extensions in, you know, they're so big, and you need 39 of the damn things. You know, that's not. You just
39.
don't
Oh wow.
hide that underneath the table. You know, it's. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for Reforged definitely, yeah. Reforged you
Yeah.
need 39. I mean, in
Oh, is it less for vanilla? I forgot. So.
oh yeah, Project Eden you only need 4 cores. And
Okay.
Standard Empyrean you only need 4 cores.
Okay.
One thing you can get away with, or to give yourself a little bit of safety, is if you go ahead and you put in like the tier 3 cores and the tier 2 core and the tier 1 core. Obviously, it's you have the tier 1 core already, but
Mm-hmm.
if you put in like a tier 2 and all your tier 3s and all your tier 4s, it doesn't give you more cap, but it is supposed to help you. Like if you have a core blowout or you get a core gets blown up, that your ship will continue to function at slightly degraded performance, I guess,
Right.
as
Right.
opposed to just completely dying on you. So
Right.
or exploding.
Right.
But yeah, so that's one thing I really that's one of the things I wanted to do with this guy is to really kind of redevelop him and redo it for 410 or for
Uh-huh.
alpha 1.1 whatever we are whatever we're at now 1.4 something.
Uh-huh.
I do really kind of want to redo this one because it was my favorite back from the old alpha days.
Gotcha.
As like a frigate or like a small cruisers to go out and harass like enemy ships and whatnot. And I think with a little bit of
Oh,
updates and
nice.
hull rework, I think it probably worked about right.
Right on.
Plus, it can actually carry something in the back. I've got a little tiny hangar bay in the back of this ship, so that
Uh-huh.
if you've got a small little attack SV with you, you can actually deploy it. But
Give me just a second. I'll find you. There we go. I'm going down. I'm going down to the bottom. All right. I'm at the double stairs by the orange door where it says forward turbo lift access.
All right, here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So this goes all the way up. Yeah. So
Go up.
To the top.
Go all the way to the top. All right.
Where's this B deck? This is B deck. Okay. I'm gonna go up to A deck, which is this way. There.
Oh, okay. I see. The green door.
Yeah. Another one of the ones in future builds where I have maybe 2 turbolifts in a ship, so
Gotcha.
it's hard. It's a lot harder to get lost because you're like, how do I get to the next deck? Well, there's only 2 turbolifts to do it with, so you won't get lost. But
Gotcha.
yeah, outside there's a kind of see it out there in the back. I've got another little top hangar area.
Yeah, yeah, I see it.
But it's just based upon size of the hangar. It'd be hard to fit.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to
Mm-hmm.
fit another ship unless it was a very small ship. Let me see. Yeah, hop back here.
Oh yeah.
That's a tiny hangar. I had back in the day. I had a really tiny SV that I used mostly for scouting out areas and things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just trying to map out where like asteroids were and stuff like that. So as opposed to
Man,
flying an SV around or a CV, take
Reforged
an SV.
Eden, they need to give some SV love to them, man. I love SVs, and they've just been pretty
No,
hard on them, you know.
oh really?
Yeah,
Not as useful as they used to be, or
they're just, yeah, just well, they did a recent thing in Reforged where they've actually done what they call a long range radar,
okay,
and it gives you the same reach as a regular CV radar, which is pretty helpful. But it's
yeah.
just um, other than that, and for mining, they don't. You can't really use them for combat. They seem to, you know, get hurt real easy.
Oh
You
yeah,
know.
that's fair. Well, I've
Yeah.
heard with explosives and whatnot that
Whew.
their explosions are more powerful and
Oh,
weapons
it's
are more powerful and
yeah, it's been ugly, man.
shield
It's
loading is different. So yeah, it can get kind of rough out there, from my understanding.
yeah, Reforged can get yeah. It's yeah. But that's a pretty shape, man. I love it.
Thanks. Yeah,
I love the red bordering around the side. I like how you've done the slopes.
yeah. I think it'll probably get the redo treatment like the
Mhm.
Gibraltar did when I brought it back into to 10.
Mhm.
Probably I need to go back through here and do a full redo on it because
Mhm.
I've done it. Well, usually what ends up happening is I'll take the hull of the ship and I'll spray paint it hot pink across the
Mhm.
entire exterior surface so everything
Mhm.
is coated in hot pink, and then I go
Mhm.
inside and start tearing everything out.
Right.
And it just becomes an empty shell at that point, and from there on out, just try to figure out how to fill it, how to
Well,
put in
if you
everything I
put
need to
it
have.
pot pink, it's hard to miss your texturing.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Exactly.
definitely going to know. That's a good tip. That's a good idea. Now, is there a way that you can? Now, see, I'm terrible with the texture and paint gun.
Mm-hmm.
How do you? Is there a way that you can basically instantly paint all blocks, or
You
do you
can't
just,
really.
or you just have to spray it that 9x9 spray
You
covering
really
whole
end up
blocks?
yeah, you spray up the 9x9
Yeah.
as a huge
Okay.
area, and you spray paint make the entire block like
Mhm.
and you can if your exterior hull is the same type of finish, I guess you want to call it that. You can
Mhm.
even do a full
Mhm.
replace if you want to, and it will
Right.
replace every texture, every block of that texture
Right.
with that
Right.
color across the entire thing. So that might help out too.
I'm sorry, just a sec here. Matt,
Yeah.
how you doing, Matt? I'm talking with Bullet Magnet. He's a big workshop builder. He's got a lot of builds out there. He mainly does vanilla stuff. He's not been bitten by the Reforge Eden bug yet. I'm trying to wave him off, actually.
I'm a purist.
I did try to, I did try to entice him, but now he probably needs to be. Wait, no, don't. But we're just looking at some of his builds here. I do really like the shape on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, thank you. I'm gonna see if I can.
Mhm.
I'll add this to my list of ones I want to do because I really want to redo this one. And along the
Yeah.
line, should probably get a bit of a reshape ever so slightly to kind of bring her back into
Mhm.
modern look and feel, if you want to call it that.
Mhm.
I miss this one. She was a fun ship to play with. She was fairly maneuverable. She had a decent amount of weaponry, and she can engage most of the PVE stuff without a problem. Yeah. So it wasn't. I liked her.
Mhm.
The that's the other thing too. I usually build for PVE. I'm not a huge PvP player because it's just like
Right.
it feels like in order to really succeed in PvP, all you're doing is just kind of cheating the game mechanics to figure out the best way to stay alive.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
a real ship wouldn't have wouldn't bury its weapons within its hull that couldn't be fired, so that way an enemy
Dummies, yeah,
rip it. Yeah,
dummy thrusters, dummy turrets, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That's just it's not me. I like my stuff to be, I want to say realistic because this is a fantasy game about spaceships. But I
yeah.
mean, I want to kind of like make sense. Like if you were here in this future and you pulled up on a dry dock area and you saw a bunch of these things, you're like, oh, okay, walking through here, this makes sense.
Hmm.
Why this is here, I can see why this is here.
Right, right.
Things like that. It just gives it more of a gives it more feel of real, like realism and
Uh-huh.
immersion. And then once you get that, then you come back and keep playing for 2,000 plus hours, 2,000 plus
Exactly,
hours and whatnot.
exactly.
But yeah, these are my first flight of CVs. The Moray is the attack ship I had mentioned. And I actually make
Moray.
this guy right up here at top, the really small one in the front. You
Oh, okay. There's the
slap some cores in the roof
Herny.
so it'll work.
Oh, the Moray. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's cool looking.
The Moray's the this is the one I used. I use this ship primarily in space to go attack other enemy CVs and other enemy like base installations, things like that. Because it was small, it was fast, and I had a bunch of weaponry on it. And that was
Uh-huh.
what you needed to go attack things, really.
Right.
No
Oh,
other major
yeah.
frills. It was just weapons and fuel for the most part, just to keep it running. That's all it
Mm-hmm.
was, weapons
Mm-hmm.
and fuel. Um, and then it had some storage on there for whatever you looted, and it would just come back to base real quick and get refit and refixed, so I can go back out in there and do it again. So this
Right,
was
right.
this is the expendable ship for me when I was going through and playing my first few times around, because like I'd come back and part of the ship would be blown up and part of the especially when you didn't have shields back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Bunch of engines or a bunch of stuff at the front would be blown out and lose a couple turrets up front, have an engine blown out. But it's just like
Right.
it was the A10 of attack ships. I could just take this thing back and slap some new engines and a couple new thrusters and some steel on it, and it'd be ready to go again. Yeah, it's very it maintains some of those RP elements as well, but it is very kind of bare bones and concise. There's
Right.
not a
It's an
lot of
attack ship. It's not. Yeah.
yes. It's not huge on creature comforts. It's got all the stuff you would expect for like a crew of like maybe two or three. Well, I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. In my mind, I envision ships like this need like multiple crew members to run effectively, including like engineers and people manning weapons and stuff like that. Even
Right.
if it's just maybe like you and maybe another person on board a ship, and the other guy's just riding shotgun. So,
Right. Right.
but I figured if this was a ship that probably had maybe like 6 or 7 crew members plus a captain and like an executive officer or something like that, you gotta make
Mm-hmm.
sure you got space for that and facilities for it and all the other fun stuff. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you got your base storage, you got some expansion rooms on the side in case you want to put in more stuff. Those are
Mm-hmm.
empty, so you can put more cargo in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had all the weapons and everything up front, so you can just cleanly access them through your little service ports
Oh,
and whatnot
yeah.
right up front here.
Nice.
There's your
Heavy
RCS right
laser
there.
cannon, right?
You've got a couple more up here, so you got quick access to everything you
Oh,
need to.
yeah. Yeah. You can hit all those with your gun if you're
Hmm.
taking some damage. Nice.
Yeah, you've got the combat seal wall here. You got another combat seal wall here before it gets to anything. So you just
Mm-hmm.
nose in, attack some stuff, maneuver around, let your other turrets and the rest of the body take some hits, and then come back around
Mm-hmm.
and do some more manual fire. And then since they added shields, that's changed the game obviously quite a bit. But
Right. Right.
yeah, back in the day with some creative flying and some maneuvering and being a mobile target,
Mm-hmm.
you could mess some stuff up. And not much so here. You got a little CIC area for some passengers, obviously, but it'd be like
Mm-hmm.
workspaces and whatnot. And you've got a area in the back for engineering with the warp core and your generators.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then if you go back into the main area and then you go back up the elevator again, you got your bridge area
Ah.
on deck one. So yeah, I mean, thought behind it was mostly like a
Oh,
patrol
yeah.
craft or maybe like a destroyer or torpedo boat or something like that, something small with a small crew
Mm-hmm.
that would go out patrol, come back and or intercept things or do stuff like that. I mean, if you need
Mm-hmm.
to if you want to, you hit something bigger than the SV wouldn't cut it, you can send this thing would come out there and support it. So,
Mm-hmm.
but this is because of the use I got out of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then when shields came around and everything like that, and weights and balances came around, I felt she needed a redo. That's where
Ah.
I'll start pulling out, like there's an entire line based
Mm-hmm.
upon just this in particular ship.
And you said that somebody else redid this. Did X? You said XCal did a redo on it, or?
XCal also
Yeah.
did a version of this guy too. I think it's up on
Oh,
the
nice.
I think I have it. I'll pull it out. I think, but I'm pretty
Okay.
sure it's up on the Anvil thing as well. This was the first. This is the Ardent. Yeah, this is the first major redo I'm gonna be pulling out here of the ship.
All right.
There we are.
Oh, wow.
And then this one
Yeah.
came out Alpha 9 or 8, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first ship that had this first major one I did that started the kind of the redo of the line of ships I was working on, and had the battle camouflage scheme to break
Mm-hmm.
up the lines and whatnot of the ship. So a lot of grays, a lot of blacks, a lot of like crazy patterns on it to try to help
Mm-hmm.
like break up the shape a bit. And especially as you get, if you see this thing in the dark, especially,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, there's a shape there, but I'm not sure exactly what that shape is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure even if for the old Mark One eyeball, if it makes it harder for enemy to kind of determine what your ship looks like
Mm-hmm.
fully,
Mm-hmm.
then it's all better for you to not get shot.
Right. Right. If that were
And
only the case.
well, I know it's
Yeah.
the AI is still going to shoot at you,
I
but just
right.
practically
I know,
speaking, it's
but
just like,
yeah. If there was a mechanic like that, we'd all have camouflage ships.
I mean, if it was good
Definitely.
enough for like World War II with the idea
Oh
of like
yeah.
they're gonna paint their ships all weird to make the lines look different, then I figured out what the hell, it's fine. I
Right.
mean,
Right.
AI is not gonna care if you painted it different, but I know I mean after you view it, you're just like, yeah, it's different. I kind of like it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, the major things here were just obviously upgrading weaponry
Oh
changed
yeah.
all things changed around a bit. Same thing, weapon placement around a bit.
Yeah.
But the major thing that started doing was taking into consideration more lag shot, especially before shields were invented.
Lag shot. So you were using this on a multiplayer server.
Started playing
Yep.
more multiplayer server at that point and discovering the problems with lag shot, and then
Yep. I
that's
see it.
when um,
I
that's
see
when these
the
ships
old
went
lag
into a
shot.
redesign.
Yep.
Yep. So if you fly, I don't know if you want to do it or not, but if you fly through the shape of the moray and take a look around, it's mostly just single steel hull construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you fly through this one, especially around critical points like you saw with the engines and things
Yep.
like that, you've got multiple wedge armor plates around everything that's vital.
Right. Yeah. This is all and just what we're looking at, guys, is for people that might be uninitiated. Me being able to see all this way basically means that these are all solid blocks through here. That's when
Yeah,
you're see. So when you come over to where he's put the lag shot in, of course, you're going to see the triangles, and basically that's what breaks the lag shot, pretty much. That right there. Yeah.
any major face that
Mm-hmm.
the AI kind of quote or the missile AI sees, I guess if you want to put it that way,
Mm-hmm.
stops it and impacts it. So it'll fly through the first layer being your hull, and then
Mm-hmm.
impact upon the second layer and then explode.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, are you playing on a server right now, a vanilla server, or playing your own game? What's up with that?
I've taken a little bit of break from it
Are
actually. I've
you?
been playing a little
Okay.
while. I played this game almost incessantly for better part of like almost year to a year and a half or something like that.
Right.
And CVs just take a lot of time to build, and my work got crazy, and eventually got to the point where I'm just like, I can't keep up with this anymore, and kind of
Mm-hmm.
I had to take a bit of a time out for it. So that's why I like I like doing the challenges every month. It keeps the
Yeah.
creative juices flowing. You know, it
Yeah.
gets me thinking again, and then because then also then I want to try to incorporate the ships for the challenges into my line of or my fleet line or something like that if you want to call it. Now I'm just like, okay, well I got to build a modular ship. Now how am I going to build a modular ship that would work within my ship line
Yeah.
that can take advantage of their stuff? You know, so then it
Yeah.
becomes an even bigger challenge. That's what
Yeah.
gets that's what becomes fun. So I'm definitely more along the aspect of if I'm commissioned to make something, it becomes a challenge to me. Whereas opposed to like I'm playing the game and it's like I'm just gonna build something new. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I can build something new, but I like to have reasons to build something new, or I like to have an inspiration to build something new as opposed to just wanting to build something.
Mm-hmm.
Just find myself more motivated that way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
No, no, I think that you can burn out on any game, if you don't mix it up.
Yeah, and
Especially
then
especially if you're solitary at it. I found that multiplayer really keeps me kind of having a good time.
multiplayer definitely allows you to have much better time with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's just I think I'm waiting basically for the next big patch maybe for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think once the next big patch comes out, it's gonna hopefully it'll give more options, more flexibility, more things you can do,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And once that happens, then I think probably be back in, get ready for another vanilla server outing or something like that. I'm not sure, but
Right, right.
I'm always anxious for them to add more stuff to this game because I think it's in and of itself it's a great game. The ability to add to make mods, and obviously the game got a full like basically new life with Reforged Eden and
It's really blown up.
yeah,
Yeah.
renewed playership. So I mean, if the more and more content and like official or otherwise that comes out for this game, I think the better it's going to be for everybody. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
I'm
Oh
looking forward
yeah.
to it. What I'm doing here is I'm pulling out all the major updates so far to this vessel,
Mm-hmm.
so you can kind of
Mm-hmm.
see some growth over time with it. So yeah,
Right.
so starting with the Mori to the Ardent here, with the rough texturing and the gray
Mm-hmm.
colors. Next to it is the one that Excalibur did for his Pimp My Ship series, which I really wish
Mm-hmm.
he'd bring back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, he redid it, and I think he kind of stayed along the lines almost to some degree like the original kind of feel of the old one, I guess. So he
Mm-hmm.
definitely kind of upgraded it and futurized it. Not so much a redesign, but definitely a reinterpretation and update
Right,
compared to the old
right.
one. So and the he's a big fan of flat textures. I'm
Yeah.
I like it in this instance. I'm not sure I like it all the time, only because I mean from an exterior point of view and from far away, like obviously everything is a flat surface, but as you get closer and closer to it, you can start to see imperfections and you can start to see like weld seams
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just me personally. I tend to like to use at least some type of texturing that has like the lines running through it to show that it is an imperfect surface, especially as you get up close.
Right, right.
So that's just once again just a design philosophy, I guess, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he did a really nice job with this one. I'm really happy with it,
Oh
and
yeah.
hopefully people on the XBC are downloading it and using it.
Yeah.
Get some mileage out of this bad boy. But it is definitely a PVE ship. It's not a PvP ship. It's not really built
Right.
for PvP. But
Right.
with his flak loadout
I'll
and
never
turret
get a
loadout,
PvP builder on here because they guard their little secrets. Like, I mean, they're like, what? You want me to share?
can't
Back
do that.
off. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not showing you all my stuff. Yeah.
But the if you want to swing down to the last guy over here in the line,
Uh-huh.
the Fortune.
I got, this is
You got the
the
Zealot.
last one. Here, okay. All right.
Oh,
Gotcha.
back
Here
here.
you go. The fortune. All right.
Fortune. The Fortune is the most recent edition of this ship. Um,
Uh-huh.
this one has all the most recent weapons changes and also the most greebles and oddities and everything like that's been
Mm-hmm.
added to the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, see here.
Oh, yeah.
So the way I envision her now is compared. She's still a small attack ship like she was before, but the way I see it now with this game, and especially if you don't care about weapons and turret limits and things like that, is that
Mm-hmm.
this ship in its current configuration is a decent anti-drone and anti-capital ship, especially small ships.
Yeah.
But because it's just hard points and mounting points. If you want to turn this thing into a full missile boat, all you need to do is just swap out turrets and go crazy. If you want to
Right.
turn it into a full anti-drone ship, just replace a bunch of 30 mils and plasmas with lasers and flak and go to town.
Mm-hmm.
The sky's the limit with ships. So I mean, and I think this is
I
I think it's a
like
common
what you
thing
did
for.
with the spotlight back here on the number. That's cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks cool. I like that.
Nobody. I think it's overlooked. It's just the
The
idea that
spotlight, yeah.
I mean, just self illumination on your ship. I mean,
Mhm.
I've got signal indicators all over, especially from these later flight ships here. If you look at them, they've all got basically registry numbers and self
Mhm.
illumination on their numbers. All the major cardinal points have a number indicator, so you, like you know who well you would know what number of the ship you were dealing with.
Mhm. Mhm.
You've got your nameplate. You've got some. I've had especially later edition ships now more greebling across the top of the hull. So you've got
Mhm.
like just fake radar emplacements. You've got
Right.
fake scoops. You've got fake like radar domes and stuff like that, sensor domes.
Right.
Uh, you've got these little yellow boxes that I have on here for basically RCS control.
Mhm.
So I mean, the ship turns obviously. It's just like how exactly does it turn? Well, I mean, if just going back to Star Trek for inspiration, if you looked at Starfleet ships, all of them usually had little yellow boxes along the edge of this, along the rims of the saucer
Mhm.
section and along the engineering hulls on some ships, and it was mostly to help them maneuver around. They're small little reaction jets. So I figured I'm
Right.
just gonna
Right.
copy that idea, and bring it over. Um,
Huh.
Painted the bottom of the hull black because
Uh-huh.
bottom of naval ships are painted black along the water line. So
Right.
not that you're going to be parking in water very often, but just I think it just helps to aid or it adds to this the kind of coloring and scheme, as it were, kind of
Right.
establish a look. Oh, let's see. Well, I'll take you inside here, and you can see compared to like the Mori how things have basically
Mhm.
dramatically changed inside.
I'm noticing the lag armor in here too.
Yes, she does
Yeah,
have a.
lots,
She's got some
lots.
lag armor here.
Yeah.
Best
Apparently
you want to
they
be doing is
fixed lag armor, but the thing is, lag armor has been such an enduring thing in the game, people won't let go. And they may be right. They may be right, you know. Uh, it may not really be fixed.
I mean, it might be to the point where it's fully fully closed out now, and you don't got to worry
Yeah.
about it. I mean, it might be. I'm not sure. I don't want to.
Right.
Not sure I want to take that chance necessarily. So
Right.
I
Right.
have it. It's already here. It's gonna help anyway for extra armor. So.
I'm in the med bay.
Oh, you're in the med bay. Let me swing up
Yeah.
to you here. Let's see. There you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your primary service deck, if you want to call it that. I guess you've got
Mhm.
your like disconnected sick bay because
Mhm.
once again it's a patrol ship. If there was a doctor on board, it was probably just like a crewman that
Mhm.
was a corpsman or something like that. It's not a full
Mhm.
doctor. But you go up from here, you've got
Mhm.
your warp core and your main engineering space.
Ah,
And you
okay.
go from here is your main teleporter pad.
Gotcha.
Updating because yeah, didn't have those back in like Alpha 5 and 6. So
Right. Right.
um, because it is once again it's an RP ship for me. If you go to either one of these sides here, both left and right, they're crew quarters. I think this one over here
Oh,
is a
okay.
captain's cabin. Yeah, this is a
And then
captain's
this
cabin
is
here.
the crew. Yeah.
And you got crew on the opposite side. Yep.
And the
Um,
bathroom. Nice.
there we go. Yeah, these are on switches. You get
Huh.
some light up in here.
Right. Right.
'Cause, I mean, chances are, realistically, if you're playing on the server, you're probably never using those rooms for anything. So
Yeah.
I didn't see a reason to wire it. I attach it to a signal, and if you don't ever go up there, then you don't got to worry about turning the signal on and off. Signal on
Exactly.
and off. Works out.
Exactly.
Um, yeah, but if you remember back to like the Mori, where all this is open, it's all now being segmented and compartmentalized to add extra
Mhm.
space for armor, and in this case, try to break up spaces between some of the fuel tanks and whatnot as you walk through here,
Mhm.
so you don't have a huge chain reaction like you would have in the other ship.
Right. Right.
And then up in the front, you've got both your gravity control and your gravity and your offline protection modules. So that way, if you're engaging stuff nose on, after it gets done eating through all the lag or armor up front, it'll just start blowing up your offline protection that you can just go
Yeah.
replace.
Yeah. Yeah.
No big losses there. Um, yeah, this is so you got this area here. If you go to the left and right side on either side here, you've got your main shuttle or your main engine service areas.
Oh, okay.
So you can pop all these
Nice.
open.
Yeah.
And I wanted to try to I've been trying to do this with like all the future ships, is try to make these look like they were removable, like engine pods, if you will, or compartments.
Right.
So it's just like, well, if we really had to, it looks like we could just eject this entire module or something like that. Same thing
Right.
with side
Right.
thrusters and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I
But
see.
yeah,
Yeah, I like how you did those. The grates. That's nice.
yep, just a little bit of extra protection from
Yeah.
overflying an area or something like that, or get shot from beneath or on top. And then if you go down here,
Uh-huh.
deck 3, this would be your entry area.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You got all your major acts, or all the major things you need to work with are
Nice.
right here. So you can just
Uh-huh.
walk up the stairs and be done. It's
Right.
tied to a motion sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get back inside and you don't want the door to constantly open and close on you, you just motion sensor it. Or
Mm-hmm.
back up, I should say. Close it.
Right. There you go.
Then it's a motion sensor and it'll eventually close itself up. But
Okay.
people floating around in here, so it keeps triggering
Right.
it.
Right.
Ripped out that huge, like 500 gigawatt thruster that eats up CPU and you don't really need, and
Yeah.
installed 4 smaller ones, so you get a little more redundancy that way.
Mm-hmm.
The ever needed and
Oh
often
yeah.
not neglected shield generator and your main
Yeah.
thruster.
Oh yeah. Oh
Get in there and work on
nice.
it.
That
Yeah,
big
when
thruster, it's the design is so weird.
I'm it takes up a lot of space,
It does. It
huge amount
really
of space,
does.
and that's like, I mean, that's really the killer for me with CVs, because I mean, if I were to get down to it, I'd probably build something the size of like a larger SV and use that
Mm-hmm.
more often as like a liveaboard, like a Millennium Falcon style, something that
Right.
size. Just
Right.
it's bigger than a fighter, but it's not like a huge, what you would think of as a capital ship, I guess, put it that way.
Right. Right.
So that's what if there's anything that I would ask for Empyrean to add or change around, or to uh, include in the game, would be some type of moderate size or medium sized vessel, something that gives you
Mm-hmm.
like a little bit of the size and flexibility of, like, say, an SV to maneuver around, but a couple like CV weapons, so you can kind of punch above your weight class a little bit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
some of the CV tools, like maybe constructors or storage containers or something like that. I don't know, something,
Man,
but
what you were talking about with having the CV be able to float either on water or be able to go underwater and not fill with water,
yeah.
or you know, if I mean, I don't even care about you have to stop before you can walk around. I'm okay with that, but being able to not have lava in your ship,
Oh yeah,
that's
that'd be
cool.
nice, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
you know.
airtight. Why isn't it lava tight? Why isn't it watertight?
Exactly, man. I mean, right. It's made out of sathium. I don't even know what sathium is. It's not even on the periodic table. It's
Well,
got to hold up against lava,
yeah,
right?
you figure it sounds expensive enough. It should be
Yeah,
good enough
yeah.
for
It's
something like this, right?
ascosium. That shit sounds like it ought to take some lava, you know?
Yeah, you think so, right?
Yeah.
As for well, let's see here. Because I'm trying to go back through all this stuff, because with
Mhm.
actually, there's one other ship that's been updated
Okay.
fairly recently that I'll put up, or that was an update, I should say. This guy was from Alpha 10.
Uh huh.
This is a redo of the Gibraltar, just for like I said, I was gonna say comparison purposes before, to see how like progression took place.
Uh huh.
This one is the best one, I think, to illustrate that with. Let me get him over here
All
in
right.
front of the other one.
Aha. The
Yeah,
Yorktown.
so this is the Yorktown. This
Oh,
was
nice.
this is a full redo from the Gibraltar up to this. So um, yeah, a little bit of some streamlining of the hull and some redo of the
Mhm.
hull work. Redo of the weapon systems, redo of obviously the color and paint scheme,
Mhm.
redo of the some of the hull structuring as well. Obviously, move the cockpit further back, give it more of a punched
Mhm.
profile, if you want to call it that.
Mhm.
Kept some of the, or move the weapons out on the nose
Mhm.
and reinforced it,
Mhm.
and move all your stuff to what do we call it, defensible and reinforced mounts. So
Right.
that
Right.
way these things are taking shots, or these weapons are taking shots, all this extra armor that you see along the hull is going to absorb some of that. So
Right.
let's see here. For you got your turret here, for instance, like this laser mount
Mm-hmm.
or plasma mount.
Yeah.
All on this plasma mount is that thin walled,
Yeah.
we're going to call it steel or combat steel plates. And then
Mm-hmm.
if you go under those mounts as well, there is wedged combat steel armor underneath it. So that way, even if you lose your mount, the
Mm-hmm.
weapon mount, it doesn't make your ship like all of a sudden a gaping hole and no longer airtight, so you can
R-
keep all your atmosphere.
and that's important with these stowaway turrets. Yeah,
Hmm.
if you get one blown out and that's basically your ceiling, yeah,
Yeah,
you're in trouble.
you're
Yeah.
hosed. Yeah, especially if like you got like these like turrets sitting above like your grow areas, your ceiling, and all of a sudden you lose all your grow stuff plus your turret, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun. So it's part of the part of the change from, fairly
Mm-hmm.
speaking, from the Yorktown to this, or from the Gibraltar to this. I'm sorry, is
Mm-hmm.
upgrading the armor, upgrading hull arrangement, upgrading the amount of armor on the hull itself. Because yeah, the Gibraltar is a single hulled ship. It's
Mm-hmm.
so if you got into like bigger extended fights, it was just that one layer protecting you, and eventually,
Right.
if it wore out, that was it.
Right.
Um, this with this one has an entire ablative, well, combat steel hull, double hull. So
Uh-huh.
no matter where you go on this ship, it's got a double combat steel hull around it to protect it. So it's extraordinarily heavy. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
However, with the shield generator and that steel hull, you can sit there and take a beating while if you're especially working in a flotilla with some other ships, you can so you can float around, you can turn around, you can keep taking shots of the hull and not care too much while you and other ships beat up something and destroy it.
I notice you've not used any Xeno in any of these builds.
Nope, it's all
Yeah.
combat,
Combat.
all normal steel. Yep, it's that's the thing, you can't. At least back in the day, you couldn't blueprint stuff with Xeno steel in it and
I
make it on the
see.
workshop for people to be able to download and use because it was considered like illegal blocks, I guess.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so I mean, like, I want to keep my stuff readily available for everybody to use as much as possible. So it's all whatever you can build legally, I guess, in game.
Oh, I bet you $1 somebody Xeno'd this baby up and created. I bet
I'd
you
hope
a
so.
dollar. Yeah.
I mean, I'd hope so. I encourage people too. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that makes something for their workshop, I think, has to fully expect that people are going to come in here and they're going to toy around and redo and restructure and adjust things to their liking. But I mean,
Oh, yeah.
that's that's the name of the game, though. That's what it's here for. I mean,
Mm-hmm. Well,
your
I
feet.
mean, these builds, it's about adapting what other people have done, taking ideas, create something different, new. But there's going to be a lot of nods to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm happy. I mean, more power to you if you find the whole ship and you liked it and you think it's going to work for you, and that you just need to make
Yeah.
some tweaks to get to like fully come to that realization. Then I just go for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The game's to have fun, and if you're not having fun with your build and you need to make a couple adjustments to make it work, then just make those
Oh
adjustments.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Don't get married to whatever the creator thinks you need to have. You need to put some more stuff in there. Put some more stuff in there.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so I want to maintain the same kind of generalized floor plan, although it's been highly condensed because, unfortunately, well, just by the sheer nature of it, you start adding additional layers of full armor blocks into a ship, you're just not going to have as much volume to work with. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the same, you got to still have the miner ship parking area with
Right.
the exits to the main deck or to the ground, right to the main hull
Mm-hmm.
here. Still got a decent sized hangar bay area you can get a couple tanks into or
Mm-hmm.
the fight, and then I've also added another rear access port here too. So
Ah, okay.
if you want to get out, you can just right through there.
Oh yeah.
It's just ship this big. It's just like I don't want to keep popping. I want to keep popping open the hangar bay door. And I mean, if you were
Oh, it's
landing in a weird spot,
noisy. It's
yeah,
noisy, isn't it?
it's noisy. It's a security threat. You're gonna have weird people climbing up the ramp on board your ship, checking things out. You
Exactly.
know, you don't
Aliens
want
are
to give them.
climbing in.
You don't
Yep.
want to give them a big open door to just say, "Hey, come on inside." So
Ripper dog coming up to say hello.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you button up the ramps and you
Yeah.
close the doors and yeah, you don't go crazy. I still
So
have your
so.
good old constructor bay up front. You can get all your work done. I don't have
Mm-hmm.
as many constructors. Well, I still got 4 up here. Yeah.
That's pretty
4
good.
constructors,
Yeah.
all color coded, all like flip a switch to activate them when you need to.
Right. Right.
You still got, I guess you still have a torpedo room up front technically, although this is more just kind of gap space to protect from taking shots up the nose.
Uh-huh.
There's
Uh-huh.
nothing up here that really is functional per se.
Right. I mean, it's there to be beat up.
Yep, it's there to beat up to take space, but
Yeah.
you got torpedoes here, so it looks cool. There's
Yeah.
a door over there that opens that doesn't do anything, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what? Just adds to the realism. That's the way I see it.
It doors. It does door things. It's
It
okay.
does door
Yeah.
things.
That's right.
it's a
It does
it's a
door.
loading door. It's all good,
That's
man.
it.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, all along the lot more signage in the rooms now. Lots more signage.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this way you know where you are and how to get to
Mm-hmm.
everything. Yeah. So deck 4, you're in the forward
Mm-hmm.
and starboard side.
Forward thrusters again. Yeah.
Forward thrusters, your main sick bay area. Although I think if I'm going to redo the ship again at some point, I'm probably going to expand it because a small sick bay like this for a crew of, I don't know, 30, 40 people just seems
Oh.
seems a bit small, all things considered. But yeah, all these are just kind of crew spaces. You got like little
Mm-hmm.
junior enlisted crew quarters areas,
Right.
shower areas. This takes you up to deck 3, which is more crew quarters. Yep.
Wow, you've really given the yeah, I mean, you've really done a lot of role play. You've got a lot of places, for crew. That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's probably the immersive part with some designs that kind of get missed a little bit. I think is that
Mm-hmm.
you've got these huge vessels with all the storage and everything like that, but then you're like, well, I mean, if you
Yeah.
got the ship this size, who's like cleaning this thing? You know,
You're
who's going
right.
around loading ammunition? I
Right.
mean, where are these people sleeping at? I
Right.
mean,
Right.
it's all the little quality of life things like I think that kind of sometimes get missed with some stuff. So it's just I don't know if I'm going through here and I'm gonna build up a ship. It's just like okay, well, where's the people that actually like operate this thing? Where are they gonna
Mm-hmm.
sleep? Like where are they gonna eat? I mean, how are they gonna get
Well,
from
you
point A to
like to
point B?
give it some rational idea of a bunch of people here. Wow. That's there's
Yep,
some there's some gas tanks right there.
that's your that's back towards the top deck of engineering. It's actually a 2 deck section there
Oh,
really.
okay.
Let's see. Yeah, this is the fuel deck area up on top here.
Gotcha.
And compared to like the previous ship, all the major fuel tanks are all spaced out. As you can see, they've got a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
you got steel and little steel reinforcements and whatnot around them, or combat steel
Mm-hmm.
reinforcements around them. So it helps to reduce that risk of chain explosion. I'm not gonna say it
Right.
eliminates it, but I mean it definitely helps to clear it up a bit.
I've
Um,
never played on a PvP server or done PvP, so I don't even know how offline protection works. I don't know what it
it's
does. Is it just like your ship's invulnerable when
what it
you're
mostly
offline?
does. It kind of what it mostly does is it makes it so the AI doesn't try to screw with your stuff if you're not actually logged on or nobody's logged on to a server.
Oh,
Um,
so it works
you're
with
not,
AI. I thought it was just a
yeah.
PvP item.
Oh no, if somebody PvP
Oh,
comes along and sees your ship, they're just gonna blow. They can just blow it up if they want to.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's mostly to help your. If I remember correctly, it's mostly to help your individual ships and like bases and stuff like that not get
Uh-huh.
attacked when you're not on the server playing.
See, I've never screwed with it. I've never screwed with it.
Well, I mean
Wow.
that's what I was told as to how it works, and that's the way at least I think I've seen it work before, and
Yeah.
I haven't asked too many questions, so I just kind of
Yeah.
put. Plus,
Now.
if you're doing things, if you are building things kind of symmetrically,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily need 2 gravity generators in the same area. So I just plop
R-
the offline protection down. You're good to go.
right. Right.
There's your warp core and
Nice.
yeah, warp core, warp fuel tank. Main engineering
Mm-hmm.
is down here. You got a little engineering kind of annex bunk, like chief engineer's like office slash workspace type
Mm-hmm.
thing. Little
Mm-hmm.
Joy LaForge office action back there and whatnot.
Right. Good old
And then this
Jordy.
tell you man, next to Scotty, probably one of the best Starfleet engineers.
Hey, we've got a Jordy Visor in the game, so
I know, right? I mean, he's getting more like notoriety here than Scotty. These guys don't
That's
talk.
right.
So you got more engineering
Oh
spaces with your
yeah.
thruster accesses. So you got,
Yeah.
and then your big power generators on either side. Another thing that I would
Nice.
probably redo because you don't need those. Yeah, I don't need anything that big anymore. It's overpowered for what it is. If you want to, once again, if you don't care about weapons and turrets limits, then you just want to slap more weapons up on top of this bad boy. You can go to town, and there's plenty of hull space up there to do that. So.
Right. Right.
Yeah, most of the stuff in this ship, as you can tell, is kind of organized around that hangar, but
Yeah.
just a good amount of space. Obviously, kind of has to
Right.
carry everything. Your main grow bay here, and
Oh, nice.
move forward through here. You've got your officers' mess, and you've got your little 3-forward dining lounge area thing over there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I think
that's nice.
I get to rooms like this, I'm mostly trying to fill space because I just at this point
Right.
in
It's
my
so
gameplay,
big.
I don't build ships as big anymore. Yeah, I don't have
Right.
to.
Right.
You got that, and then on the opposite side, you got your enlisted mess hall.
Uh-huh.
Because obviously you're enlisted have to eat in here. You don't dine with the classy officers. All your plebeians get
No,
this room.
no, no. There's no fraternization. Nope.
Yep, can't have it. So yeah, I mean
Oh,
you've got
you got the chow line. That's cool.
I got a chow line. You walk right in, you
Yeah.
get your trays and
Yeah.
whatnot. You walk through.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, thought it out a little bit. Got
Yeah.
yeah. So there you go. Plus it's nice. It's carpeted. I should have put tile down because enlisted people eat like animals.
Oh, they're
Making messes all over the
terrible.
place.
Oh, they're terrible. I was one, so I can attest. Yes, they're animals.
But so yeah, I might have the dockyard boys come back through here and rip out that carpet because this is gonna get ruined later.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I mean overall, I tried to keep the same general layout, but it got a lot cleaner and it
Mm-hmm.
got hopefully as you're walking through a little bit more organized to the point where you're like, oh okay, I kind of know where I am based upon color scheme and markings and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But up front in the business area here, you've got a conference room slash it's like
For
the Enterprise.
trainings. It's for trainings.
Trainings for briefings
Yes,
for all that
that's right.
stuff. You got your main bridge,
Ah.
and then this one is big enough where I was able to throw in a captain's ready room, card style over here. So you
Oh
got
yeah.
a little space. And if you want to be a captain and you want to have somebody else fly the ship, you actually have a little chair you can sit in, so you can keep that immersion going while somebody else is
Right.
flying
Right.
and you're doing their stuff. But yeah, she's big, she's heavy. Comparatively speaking to the stuff in 10, she doesn't maneuver as well as the one from like Alpha 8 does. But that's just
Mm-hmm.
when you
Mm-hmm.
get to something this size and as heavily armored as it is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't expect maneuver. I don't expect this thing to turn on a dime or to outrun or outmaneuver or an SV or something like that. It's supposed to sit there and it's supposed to take
Mm-hmm.
damage and pummel things, and
Right. Right.
it'll do that. It does it all right. Let's
I
see.
like it.
But that's not the biggest thing I've constructed. Let me see if I can find some big
Oh
boys.
yeah. Bring a
There
big boy.
are there's one ship that I'll dig out. Well, I'll dig out the one.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I could probably dig out both. There's some differences between the two. I'd like to build the ship again somehow in the game, but it's not practical. And if I did it,
Uh-huh.
I'd probably do it as an illegal build with furnaces and
Oh yeah.
deconstructors and whatnot. But this is the Vulcan and the Hephaestus sister ships. I built this in conjunction. I built the Vulcan in conjunction with another builder.
Mm-hmm.
We were we had an idea to build a massive, huge HVU you can drive across the countryside, use as a mobile base, and use it
Ah.
to like tear up the countryside with all your like plows and stuff like that. And just
Uh-huh.
and then once you were done, you'd fly it back to the Vulcan here,
Mm-hmm.
or the Vulcan would fly back to the ship, and it would actually land it would land above the ship or above the HV, and the HV would hover up into the ship to dock to it.
Oh,
And then
okay.
once it's docked, it would basically pick it up and lift it off or lift it out.
Huh.
Let me see if I have that HV actually. It's a bit old, but well, again, this ship is old. It's from way back day, Alpha 8 or something like that. When
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
CPU and weights and everything like that didn't matter. So there we are. Let's see. if I can spawn it inside the thing, if it'll give me an error or not. But this way you could see how it would dock, and it would look kind of cool. You know what? Let's see. I might have to go slide just underneath it or something.
That's cool.
There we are.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's a bit big. It's got a bit
Holy
of.
Toledo.
This is built by Fabled Hero way back in the day. It's got
Whoa.
a bit of heft to her, as it were. But
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
so yeah,
Holy shit.
so you would fly around with this thing, and you would just give
Grind
zero shits
everything.
about anything.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
just grind everything.
grind everything to death. Let's
You
look at
just
the
drive on
hovers.
by,
Oh
and
yeah, hovers.
you have lasers and stuff like that, and they would just kill everything that they came across, because you wouldn't necessarily care about taking out bases. All you want to do is just drive over everything and then
That's
pull as much stuff
crazy.
out of the ground as you want to, because you're there mostly just to get resources. It's just there to eat resources.
Escodge 2. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Bullet Magnet. He
Yep.
has he builds mainly vanilla. You know, guys, I like to give everybody time to talk about their builds. I'm kind of a come one, come all, and he contacted me, and it was really, this is kind of really cool stuff. He's got a workshop, okay? It's Bullet Magnet, and it's BULL3T MAGN3T. Bull 3 it magnet. Yeah, you know what I mean. Bullet magnet with the
Yeah,
threes. Yeah, for the E's. So
it's all early 2000s, late 90s leet speak with
it's
threes
some
instead of e's.
elite speak, baby.
Yes, because
Yeah,
we're old here. We're old and we don't know what's cool anymore.
dude, that's an old school huge vanilla HV build.
Yes, this is
That's
the
yeah.
yeah.
This isn't stuff that you. I mean, we're kind of taking a trip down, I guess, dog years in
Oh yeah, this
computer
is
games. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
this is definitely memory laning it. This is
yeah,
3
yeah,
years ago at this point for this guy. Yeah,
yeah. This
but as
is
you can
kind of
see,
like looking at a '72 Chevelle. You
yeah,
know, this
this
is like back in the day.
this is the ship that would, if you angle it right, it's set a little bit too far forward in the bay, but that's okay. But
Right.
I mean, if you angle it right, you would basically fly this thing down over it, and it would
Uh
get
huh.
about probably up to where the thrusters are. Be a
Uh
little
huh.
above that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
see.
would go over the top of that and hold it in place and lock on, and then you
Right.
just pick up and fly off with it, and you can then get into the ship or into the CV from up on these little platforms here.
See the
Or what
docking
else?
pads? See, guys?
A little docking.
Right there's the dock pads so that he can dock up. And he's got a repair, either an advanced or advanced
Oh, it's a
repair
tier
base,
two.
so he can
Yeah.
repair any of it. So
Yep.
basically, he can basically plop it in there and then repair it. I got to go in this thing.
Oh, the HV. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I just gotta see what this is
it's
about,
a it's a,
man.
it's a lot of empty. If I remember correctly, there's a lot of empty space in here because it was just
There's a few gas tanks and a few RCSs. I love how you did your interior trim in 19th century RCS. It's beautiful.
well, I'll be fair. Once again, this is a combo pairing. I did the
Oh yeah.
CV portion here, and then Fabled Hero
Right, right.
did this World Devastator. But once again, I mean, there's some way to make this like if you decide you're gonna go ham one day and you went to a thing where CPU didn't matter and
Mhm.
weights and balances didn't matter for anything, and you want to go crazy.
Mhm.
Yeah, between these two things would be a fun way to do it. Just load
I
up.
imagine he needed the RCSs. I mean, literally. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't just, Oh, and you got the little armored windows, old school. Yeah.
yeah, prior to all the changes, it worked. It moved around okay,
Uh-huh.
and okay being a relative term. I mean, it
Well,
can move, but I mean, it wouldn't be something once again that I would try to like dogfight in or engage
no. No.
a base in or anything like that. I would
Right.
you're using this to chop down forests and drill out deposits, and
Yes, you are. All
yeah,
right.
you're field stripping a planet basically and moving on.
Right. Okay, so here
Yeah,
is.
so getting inside, you would step off the
Mm-hmm.
HV onto one of these kind of clamps on the side here, one of these
Mm-hmm.
guys.
Yep.
And then from the clamp here, you can walk around and get up to the rest of the parts of the vessel and do whatever you need
Right.
to do. The person that was going to be probably flying the ship at the time would have done so from up here.
I'm going through
This
the
little.
red door, then the yellow door.
Oh,
Did I
you're
go
going.
too
Oh, you're going to
high?
the main. Yeah, come on back this way real quick.
All right.
You go this way first.
In God mode, man, everybody just zips around.
Zips
So
around. Yeah. Sorry
yeah.
about that. This is the guy who's going to be actually picking up the HV could fly the ship from here.
Uh-huh.
To give him, if you're going to try to
Oh
do it
yeah.
like manually, give you a good view as to what's going on. Try to figure out
Right.
how to get him.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, this would be a third person, so you can see how it docks. You can
Yep.
plop it down so it's close enough. Gotcha.
Yep. You can third person it right to there, and you can first person it to be like, okay, I got to move a little bit this way and kind of adjust
Mm-hmm.
a little bit, and then really kind of like before though, it's still the major thing you're doing is you're getting it as close as possible so that the guy that's in the HV who's driving the World Devastator here can just kind of
Mm-hmm.
like get as much lift as possible off those things to lock onto
Mm-hmm.
the ship. And then from
Right.
there, it's just like, all right, everybody offload and get out of here.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I've got a little bay in the back here, a couple little bays. You can use these for really small SVs, little
Yeah.
scouts. Yeah, you load up and then you can head out and do things from here.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the other version, I think these are still here, and I've got instead of this main drop bay, there's a HV bay instead. But I'll show you that. Get to that one in a minute. Otherwise,
Okay.
the other parts of this ship are fairly comparable between this one and the sister ship here. Let me see. This goes. Oh wait, no, I'm going back to this one. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Go up to this one here.
All right.
This is your main engineering access area. You've got your warp core and power generation back this way, I believe. Yeah, warp
Oh
core,
yeah.
thrusters, power generation. A lot of catwalks, the whole kit and
Mm-hmm.
caboodle. All do it back through here. Um, Although nowadays, I don't think this is considered. Well, I guess the engines are considered airtight now. Before they actually were not. So this was kind of vented to some degree of atmosphere. But I think now
Okay.
they're actually considered airtight. So except until the engine gets blown out, and then well, this will all become vacuum again, I'm sure, or something.
Right. Right.
But yeah, for the if you go back out, the port side here has a sick bay, and then the starboard side is what?
I am.
Storage.
Oh, there you are. I
Yep.
found you.
I'm sorry.
There
Back
we
up
go.
to the little area
Yep.
here. I got your radiation shower. So if you're leaving sick bay or
Mm-hmm.
leaving work, just get cleaned up real quick. Here's your sick bay.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you were the ship is kind of intended to act when it's not flying around and it's parked kind of like an oil. I kind of envision it like an oil derrick or an oil
Uh-huh.
platform. So
Right. Right.
it would just sit here and act as a base effectively. So if you were flying around or you're helping the HV out, your ranger need to get fixed up. You can just come fly, land right out here, and
Uh-huh.
then you can walk right in the door and get fixed up. And
Okay.
then
Yeah.
part of me, with the way I designed this thing on the edges, part of me was like, if at some point someday they ever come up with an idea of a way to do like a hinge mechanism or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
ideally I would have wanted it so these wings could fold up.
Okay.
'Cause, I mean, they're not really needed for flight. I mean, it's a spaceship, so the only thing it's really needed
Yeah.
for is to really just be a place for things to sit down and land. So
If they made a block that could like support folding, like maybe if you put four in a row, all the mech people would go crazy.
oh yeah, so
You
I
know,
got some from
making folding arms or doing stuff like that.
rotational blocks, and I mean even if they
Hmm.
had rotational blocks and like yeah drive blocks or piston blocks, because underneath this thing here I've got it. I had an idea of where I would have the thing drive and the mechanisms would go for this thing.
Hmm.
to actually push this thing or push the
Yeah.
wing up in place, but
Right.
it's just not there yet. So
Right. Right.
same thing with the landing gear too. The way I constructed it was just like, if they ever include piston blocks, I would have this thing be able set to retract. But they just,
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in here. Yeah, because this is kind of like an oil derrick here. Back at this, you got the sick bay. You go up front, you've got some maintenance and engineering access, I believe. Yep. And then
Wow.
if you go around to the opposite side from the sick bay area, it's
Okay.
you got some crew quarters on the green or starboard side. So as opposed to your
Ah.
sick bay, you've
Okay.
got like some crew area here. They get called the Devastator crew. Yeah, Devastator crew only. So the
Gotcha.
guys that actually drive the giant HV, they
The
would
deforester.
deforester. They would come in, they come in and live in here, and then when they're ready to go, they would head out and do their thing, and then that's where they kind of spend
If
their
you
time
did a
checking.
Star Trek movie using this, you could always star DeForest Kelly. Huh? Huh? Okay, that's
Yeah.
that's terrible. That's terrible. I should be shot for
Ah,
that shit.
just gonna
That was
yeah.
bad.
We'll try to
Sorry.
forget that happened. Try to
I'm
forget that ever
sorry.
happened. No,
We'll
gonna
erase that.
just
Yeah.
gonna yeah. We'll fix it in post. It's okay. You get your you got your main grow room areas. You
Right,
can kind of
right.
um I'll put some skylights in the front so you can try to get some natural light and to make it look cool, even though it's not really
Yeah.
practical, I guess. But it looks. Where's this guy go? This guy goes down to the bridge deck area and the service bay we're at before.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So let's see here. This is the main catwalk. Yeah. This catwalk takes you to the main engineering space in the back, and it has storage along the sides. So
Oh, okay.
fuel storage, and then
Oh,
you get
yeah.
back to engineering. You pass through it. Yep, got your fuel,
Yeah.
and then our radiation shower, and bam, back out to engineering again.
Mm-hmm.
Then this one, yeah, if you just kind of run that straight shot all the way down this corridor, it'll take you all the way back to the bridge space or bridge area.
Right,
Um,
right.
so sticking along those ideas, you got your captain's cabin here, or
Yeah.
sorry, captain's cabin's over here. My mistake.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's always close to the action, so you can get back to the bridge and quickly if you had to, throw him right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, I kind of went for a little bit of that Imperial feel. It's got the sunken bridge deck area.
Mm-hmm.
Got the commander's walkover area here, so they can look down on their minions that are doing their work and whatnot.
Right, right.
And yeah, big old flight deck area up in front, so you
Oh,
can kind of
yeah.
see what's
Heavy
going on.
glass.
Oh yeah, this is. I think they finally introduced heavy glass, and that's what the kind of impetus that made me want to put
Yeah,
this
the
in.
heavy glass is awesome. Of course, people use it now in Reforged Eden for armor because it's so
Yeah,
light.
seems
Yeah.
kind of a contradiction, really. Let's go ahead and armor up
Eh,
this thing in glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm
That's
sure
what
it's a
they do.
Reforged Eden thing. Yeah, it
Yeah,
is
it's
weird.
it's a Reforged Eden and hangar doors. Yeah.
Oh, hanger doors for protection as well.
They're people are doing all kinds of crazy stuff, just to increase. Of course, like I said, the tank game's kind of right now, but
Yeah. Yeah, this is the Vulcan, the Hephaestus. If you want to swing outside in God mode real
yeah.
quick, there's not much else to see on that one. The Hephaestus, the major difference here is because that ship is kind of built to use that HV. I wanted to build
Mhm.
one that didn't necessarily have to have that HV to function,
Okay.
and you still get some use out of it.
Right.
So the sister ship here has exactly the same stuff set up, except if you go to the bottom here in the back, I put in a separate facility for like smaller HVs. So
Oh, okay. Yeah.
still a big mining vessel. You can still go out to go mine stuff and whatnot. But
Mhm.
here you can load up a full bay of little miners. Actually, a bay and a half of little miners.
Mhm. Oh, nice. Yeah.
So you can load up multiple HVs down here, and then as soon as you land on a planet, you can just send your guys out and start like strip mining the planet
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Like the other one's got a little bay out and back as well for a couple small SVs for
Mhm.
protection, and then obviously since you can't really fold the wings on this thing because it's
Right.
well, it's Empyrean. You can land a couple SVs out there as well and up on top. So I mean, you've got it'd be a really cool little mothership slash processing workstation type thing. It's just it's a little bit past her prime. She needs a bit of update. So because of all that in the size class, it's size class 25 or something like that. It's huge.
Wow.
It's huge. Oh, I'm sorry, 14. My mistake. It's
Okay,
size.
that's not too bad. I was
No,
going to
I guess
say that's a
it's
lot of
17.
angles and lights, buddy. Yeah.
It's size class 14 is still pretty big. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
if you're playing by yourself, it's like it's too much ship. I don't need that much ship to do what I need to do. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, that's the
That's
for big
nice.
stuff. That was the that was one of the big ones.
Right,
That's
right.
on that the big ship kick, as it were.
Right,
Um,
right.
let me see here. What else? Get some more
Nice.
ideas for things here. I want to try to go back. Well, I was trying to go through stuff that hasn't really been featured anywhere before either, that
Okay.
people might have seen. Oh, this guy.
All right.
This one was my one of my higher rated ones.
Uh-huh.
This is actually a ship I need to go back and reevaluate and see if I can turn it into a viable carrier. But I think I definitely need to change the layout of stuff and mechanics and whatnot. But this one I was inspired by the Quasar class carrier from Star Wars Expanded Universe, and
Mm-hmm.
then most recently Star Wars Rebels. They got one of these guys and used it for in a couple of their episodes.
Oh.
This is the Valley Forge. This was my first kind of major carrier that was
Uh-huh.
strictly supposed to be a carrier. That was the
I
intended
see.
purpose. So it's an underslung carrier or
Yeah.
underslung storage here.
Right. I'm just
There
doing
we
a
go.
quick go around it.
Oh
I
yeah,
like to give the folks the full outside.
and ignore the CPU cores that are slapped to the top.
Yeah,
Those are mean.
we get that. We get that.
She's in need of an update. This is another alpha 8-ish build, I
Alpha
believe,
8.
somewhere back in the day.
Okay.
So she needs a bit of an update, but I think this is one of the ones I'm gonna try to do to bring up to current day spec or current modifications. But yeah, this is supposed to be like a light multi-purpose kind of carrier. When I tried to before weights and volumes, it was had enough thrust they could get down onto a planet's planetary atmosphere and land without much of an issue. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but now since weight and volume update, it wouldn't be able to do it. It would be a space-based carrier. Um,
Right. Wow, I
but
like the
inside here,
bays in here. Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, you've got well, let's say four major parking
Yeah.
spots, if you want to call it that. But the other thing I did this for was I designed it with a flat roof for the purpose that if you had a fighter and you were feeling kind of squirrely, you could mount uh, landing gear at the top, and then you can mount a couple right
Yeah.
to the ceiling here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just step on and walk onto them that way. But yeah, the
Nice.
put some tanks down here. You put some fighters down here as well. Give you a nice flat open bay with decent height. Because I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
using those standard hangar doors.
I love
Or
tanks. Yeah, you gotta have. I swore I wouldn't bring a tank in this season, and damned if I didn't. That's what we were getting. I was getting ready. You know, when you got up with me, I was just about to try to kick the shit out of a drone base with a tank.
I've always liked tanks. I don't have a
Oh
problem
yeah.
using tanks. It's just gotta be a little bit more you gotta be a little more cautious using tanks and a little more
Yeah.
acrobatic. But
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I think if I go back to now and do primarily tanks and ground combat, I'd be a bit squirrely about it and use artillery pieces from max range and learn how
Yeah.
to aim to hit things, so I'm gonna worry about getting shot at it all.
Oh
With
yeah.
guns.
Yeah. In vanilla, you can outrange. Yeah,
Yeah.
with tank artillery, definitely.
Yeah. So you take your you can get off the
Yeah.
catwalks here. If you come up from the hangar deck area, you can go right through here.
Mm-hmm.
Go forward first, and this will take you through like the overview, like
Mm-hmm.
the gallery, if you will, here,
Right.
all the way to the front, and that'll end up giving you access to the bridge area.
Oh
We go past the
wow.
instructor base service area here,
Mm-hmm.
and we're up to the bridge.
Nice.
So yeah, good all around front view. it's all good there.
Nice.
And it's I think this one was the first of my standardized bridge kind of color scheme / layout with usually like a couple pilots' couches and captain's seat up front and some support station personnel. But yeah, I mean, I figured a bridge this big, you're probably gonna have multiple people doing things. So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
give it big enough space. This guy too, I was really hoping at some point they were going to introduce a standardized docking system. So I figured I might as well just kind of give a spot for that to take place, a
Oh,
1x1 spot
like
on
an
the side.
airlock kind of deal.
Yeah, so you
Like
could get
a
like a
yeah.
airlock tunnel. And I know some people have built like SVs that'll do stuff like that.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Where was it? I had one from somebody. Here it is.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh, I spawned it in the ship. Figures.
Well, hey, it's you've pre-docked it. Yeah.
I don't serve permission to delete it either. Yeah, but anyway, you get the gist of it. It being a
Here.
oh, there we go. Oh, you moved it. Is it
Yeah. Yeah.
work?
Hold tight. Here it comes. Here it comes, fella.
Pull it out. Yeah.
Yeah. I got
Almost
it.
that. Oh God. Keep that going.
Oh, come on, baby. Come on. I'm giving
I'll
it
try
all she's
pushing.
got,
There we go.
Captain.
All right, there you are.
There you go, bud.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah, you get
Sorry.
it. So I mean,
Yeah,
kinda.
yeah.
It's haphazard, but you get the idea. You know? But yeah, if you did it, and that's the one thing I wish is that it had a standardized like docking collar
Right.
and a standardized like airlock thingy or something. But yeah, so you could be able to pull it up close, and then if you line it up right, actually go a little bit down. Yep, go a little forward. And
Bingo, baby.
yeah, it works close
There
enough.
you go.
And some things here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to get it, you know.
Well, but I mean, yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that added layer of kind of
Yeah, it's cool factor.
function and
Yeah.
realism. Yeah, it makes it feel more realistic, I guess. I don't know. There's just an issue trying to like. I built that in like on place for because I saw like this ship by somebody I don't know who this was. Credit where credit's due. This is mine. Oh shit, never mind. That's me. All right, so this is my design. Forget it.
So you would
Give it
like
back.
to give yourself credit?
I give
There you
myself
go.
credit.
There
I
you
saw.
go.
I'm sure I saw a design from somebody else and just started copying and redoing bits of it. But okay,
Right,
so
right. Well, that's
yeah,
building
so
an Empyrean, is
there you go.
looking at somebody's shit, copying it, and stylizing it, and making it yours. Yep.
Yeah, kind of like what we're doing this today for, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly reason we're here.
Well, I'm hoping that we'll give folks some ideas, you know. And
Yeah,
I
I
do
hope so
want to
too.
let you guys know that even though these are vanilla builds, I don't think that Bullet Magnet is going to mind if you snuck up here on the Anvil Creative and took some copies, and you've got some hull designs that you guys could play around with, do some reforged Eden magic to it, you know, and next thing you know, boom, you know.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you've been seeing so far pop up on this thing has been or is in the workshop.
And it's also in the workshop. Good,
It's
good.
all in the workshop. Yeah, I mean, and
Yep.
it's in the current state that I'm basically pulling them out. So it's
Right on.
so feel free to tear these things apart, redo the interior,
Reforge
readjust
Eden
things.
the hell out of them. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Go nuts with this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see where. Trying to think of the major areas in here that were cool. Oh, are you still outside? Did you go
Yeah,
back
I was
inside?
looking at I'm in Med Bay right now.
Oh, you're in the med bay. Let's
Let
see
me
here.
get up. Let me
Good
get
see.
up to the.
There
Okay.
you are. Okay. Yeah. I got. This would be yeah. This deck sits right above the corridor we walked down previously to get to the front here. Yeah, I get main sick bay. You've got grow plots areas. This is like all your crew stuff is right down these corridors here. Space is obviously at a premium, so all the crew get kind of shoved up in these little side sections off to the side here.
Oh, you went up.
Oh, no, I'm on the same deck.
You're
but
on the same deck. Okay.
opposite line. Oh yeah, okay, there you go. It's the same thing. This was
Gotcha.
a mostly symmetric build. So
Mhm.
yeah, I got a little crew area back in here for people to
Oh yeah.
crew members to live in. You know, nothing
Right.
glamorous because it's a warship, so just deal with
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so all your basic needs and stuff like that are taken care of in there.
Right.
You got your engine pods right here. You got access
Oh,
to them on the very very back.
back here with the purple exclamation point. Is that
Um, let's see. Yeah, actually, well, we can
no?
go back here. Yeah, there's another area aside from that, but this is your thruster bay
Ah,
access. One of them,
okay.
and I think behind this is expansion. Yeah, it's expansion. It's got empty space you can put stuff into because I didn't have
Gotcha.
anything, no
Gotcha.
idea what to do with it. But yeah, the orange symbol mean, or the orange means obviously there's radiation, but the purple one means that there's no air in here.
Oh, okay.
It is a an airless area, as it were. So make sure you strap your helmet on if you're doing any type of work back there.
Gotcha.
And then yeah, the thruster access port is over here for the downward thruster on the side,
Oh, okay.
so you can
All
access
right.
and work on if you had to.
Gotcha.
And then let's see what else we got in here. This gets you access to the main reactor, I think. Yeah, this is reactor and warp core.
Oh, yeah.
This is in the bathtub, as it were.
Uh-huh.
Because once again, it's because taking kind of lag shot a little bit into consideration, because
Mm-hmm.
this was built before shields were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to do lag shot necessarily everywhere, because that can get heavy, obviously,
Right.
after a while. It still looks at surfaces, and it still looks at like other things that are not full blocks, anything that gives
Right.
basically a breakable space. So don't consider necessarily like putting in like a room, like a bedroom or something like that. Be like, oh, I can throw more armor in here. By
Mm-hmm.
putting in that room in the first place, you're effectively establishing a air gap for
Mm-hmm.
and another surface for that shot to hit off of. So
Mm-hmm.
although it's not like a full combat steel block sitting there, it's still another gap that
Right.
that missile's going to bypass your armor. It's going to hit that like computer desk that's sitting there. The computer desk is going to explode.
Right. Right.
But
It
it still
takes
doesn't.
the hit, basically.
It takes a
Yeah.
hit for you, but it still doesn't get through to the more important stuff that was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
Here back here. Oh, let's go back to the let's go back upstairs again here. There's one or two other things on that service deck area we can take a look at. Forward. Fly through this warp core area. But yeah, once again, it's like this giant, huge 500 megawatt
Mm-hmm.
generator, not really needed.
Mm-hmm.
At least not in standard. In Project Eden, your power requirements might be crazy, but I
Kinda.
haven't.
Yeah.
I've never run into a situation where I'm like, I need to have this power system, otherwise all my stuff's not gonna work. It's like, no,
Right.
everything's good.
Right.
Main captain's room and stateroom is up here. The stateroom. Yeah, so it'd be like if you have
Nice.
a visitor or guest, they'd be.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Boy, that baby's big. Yeah. Oh, there's the turrets. Did you do the turrets the same way where you armored them underneath? Oh, yeah. 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 Combat steel. Nice. Hey, Bullet. I don't think I can hear you, bud. You may have lost battery power to your headset, bro. I'll go to my trusty chat. Hello? Excuse me, guys. We're hello, hello, hello. Hmm. Can you guys hear me? Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me?
Can we
Okay.
now?
Oh, there
There
you
you-
go. Okay, okay.
Yeah, weird. All right. Just I'm looking for like the button to do chat and I can't find it. And I'm like, all
No.
right, I'm trying to message somebody. I'm like, why is Discord being stupid? Ah,
Minor technical
man.
difficulty. Okay, no
We're
sweat.
back. Sorry about that, guys.
No, that's all right. I didn't know what happened. I don't
I
know
didn't
what
know either.
happened yet.
I was
So
sitting here talking like nobody's saying anything.
I know. It's like I lost you. Did it could have been a Discord thing. Probably. That's
Yeah, it
probably
probably
what
is.
it was.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
giving me all types of connection warnings and whatnot. So I'm assuming it's just Discord. Yeah.
Right on.
But
Yeah.
you were mentioning the mechs earlier, and
Mm-hmm. Oh, but there's a lot of folks, the mech challenge, a lot of people did you do a mech?
I didn't do a mech only because I mean, if I want to
Okay.
build a mech, I want it to be functional. I want to
Yeah,
turret rotate. I want
a
to do all
lot
that
of,
stuff.
yeah, a lot of folks, yeah.
So what I
I
did
did a
instead,
mech.
way back.
Yeah. My
Oh, you
mech
did?
was,
Nice.
yeah, my mech was fun, I would say functional. Yeah.
Functional.
That's another story. Yeah. But
Well,
so,
if you remember the BattleTech series from back in the day, what I did
yeah.
from a while back is I built a modification or modified Tiger dropship from BattleTech
Oh, okay. Battletech. Yeah.
or Mech Warrior or whatever you want to call it. The one thing that you would use to the thing that would warp mechs to in the system, and then the mechs would
Uh-huh.
jump out of it and drop from it. So I
Gotcha.
built one of those way back in the day. That I spawned in here, sitting next to the Vulcan and the Hephaestus up front because it's huge, huge ship.
Oh, is this the Tiger?
This is a Tiger dropship.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's cool.
This is another one of those huge builds that I realistically wouldn't use, but I think it was Bone Dog back in the day was making so many um, basically replicas of Mech Warrior mechs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, I mean, if you're gonna make Mech Warrior mech replicas, I should probably make a dropship replica to carry all these things
Right.
in. So here we are.
Right.
Um, yeah, let me pop this thing open here. The there we
I'm
are,
just
carbon
doing
bars and
I'm just
ramps.
I'm doing a quick just go around just to give. Okay. Yeah, I see the ramps.
So you could
Oh, wow.
because those mechs were
Tall.
SVs technically, and they're
Yeah.
tall. I built these tall to accommodate, I think, most of the ones that he had constructed. I think I'm not sure it'll fit all of them, but it'll definitely fit most of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have. Let me see if I'm or subscribed to any of his still. So I want to say they were SVs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can put one in there for. Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is a big
Old,
boy.
good old bushwhacker medium mech up in bay here.
Oh, did you put it inside? Oh, yeah.
So I mean, obviously based on how you position it and whatnot, you
Right.
could park yourself next to one of these catwalks here, or you can extend the catwalk out, and you can get in and out of one of these things from the catwalk.
Right. That's
Okay, does this
nice.
work?
That's nice, man.
She's too big to move. Yeah, she ain't CPU compliant. She's been around she's been around for a while. Hasn't
Well,
been
right,
updated.
right.
But yeah, so you could park this thing. Be able to park this guy right next to the catwalks, and then be able to get in and out of
Mm-hmm.
the catwalks through here. And then you've got obviously full lift system, be able to access the rest of the ship for wherever you need to go. Yeah,
That's cool.
she's a big one. She's
Yeah, this is a big old ship, all right.
it would take a massive amount of work to bring it. I would need a bit to see if I can get CPU compliant, and then even if I
Mm-hmm.
could, I don't know if it would be something I want to get into atmosphere
Right,
because
right.
she's just too heavy. Let's start if if you rip out the combat steel blocks, convert them to hardened steel, perhaps might be able to
Yeah,
get away with it.
yeah.
But CPU wise, she's sitting at. Well, she's only sitting about 1.8 million CPU. So
Okay.
with a maximum CPU, I think of 10 million, you could
Yeah.
you can get some. You can definitely do some modifications in here, get this thing working.
Right on.
Uh, for anybody that wants to use it, it is size class 18 on
That's
the
the limit
opposite
on
side.
this server.
Oh,
That is, yeah, 18 is what we allow on Anvil Reforged Eden.
so I mean, if you want to get if you take combat steel out, make it out of steel,
Mm-hmm.
just a couple things, you might be able to get this bad boy to work. But yeah, if we go up to yeah, let's go to the second
Second
level
one.
S2 here. Yeah,
Okay.
service level 2.
Uh-huh.
The back here is a lot of I think engineering spaces, and there's some crew lounges and support areas and whatnot in here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you got a little study lounge. You got your cafeteria back there, grow plots. Get some food going here in
Mm-hmm.
the opposite areas. So you're all set there. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else is in this ship.
Now I'm noticing the numbers are
Hmm.
upside down. Is that a,
Oh, it's just
or
because
is,
it's old.
oh, I see. Because
Texture.
the texture's changed or something. I gotcha. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
texture changes. Yeah, just changes in time and stuff like that just causes all these textures and whatnot to go out of whack.
Right,
So,
right.
but yeah, with I mean, it's just zapping them again. It just hasn't been updated because it was just a bit too big and impractical to use right after the major
Yeah,
changes took place. That I just like, all right, I'll worry about this guy later.
right, right.
So that's the back part here, service deck S1,
Hold on, let me find my ass back to the. There we go. I'm coming.
elevator,
Yeah, I'm back. All right, here we go.
and S1 up here. This is well, these are my virtual bridges or hollow bridges. So if you
Mm-hmm.
want to get in, if you want to have to navigate to the top of the ship to figure out where to fly to, you can get into either one of these guys and
Oh, okay, like a
hit the V
holodeck.
key.
Yeah,
Yep, exactly.
yeah. Simulation loading. Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it could be your cockpit. It could be your like quote unquote like pilot training simulator, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to call it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, another flying spot.
That's cool. That's cool.
B deck. I think B deck runs the length of the ship.
Oh,
Yeah. Nothing
do I
much else
go
to
up?
do.
I go up one more, right?
Yep,
Okay,
one
there
more
we
up
go.
here.
All right.
This is yeah, B deck here runs the length of the ship, I believe. If you go back here, this is
It's
yeah, main
warp.
engineering.
Yeah. I just gotta look and see what the. Okay, it needs 138,863 ingots. Now you know in Reforged Eden, people are building big ships. It's just it takes them a longer time to get there. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Just the amount of well, that's where I think as time progressed, I stopped building like as large of vessels like this and
Mm-hmm.
just figure a way to compartmentalize and make things smaller because just like
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to spend that much time trying to like find ingots and smelt things. Just like
Oh
I want to get
yeah.
shit faster.
You're spending
So it's just
half your time walking through your ship. You know. Lots of
yeah,
walking. Lots of walking.
it's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of walking to get through this thing. This is a
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge vessel. Um, yeah, this B deck was mostly left empty. I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
used it. You can have expandable storage and put like cargo pallets and all types of stuff up here, but this was
Right.
for the most part just left open and left empty. Because I was also at the time they've changed CPU values quite a bit since
Mm-hmm.
when I first made this vessel. And before when I first made it, it was right up against the line at
Mm-hmm.
like 10 million. So I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
wasn't much else I could put into this vessel. This was pretty much it.
Right.
Um, but nowadays, I mean, you can shove a lot more stuff in here and have plenty of room
Mm-hmm.
to play around with. Bridge deck. You got yourself a little office on one side and probably a captain's cabin. Yeah, like a ready room on the opposite side there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then beneath this deck, it's one deck lower. Yeah, in front here.
Ah.
This is the got your main crew or your officers' quarters and crew
Mm-hmm.
quarters
Mm-hmm.
and galley area and all your like residential stuff, if you will, right up front
Right.
here.
Right.
Keep people keep people fed and happy and workable and whatnot. And this one over here is this one. Oh, this is the actual listed stuff.
Down at the bottom, or the red. Do we go down one more?
Oh, we're at deck
This is
L2 up front.
L2 up front. Okay.
There's
Ah.
L2 and then L3. Yep.
Okay. Ah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, so more either enlisted or junior officers or something like that. But you got like
Right. Right.
got some beds, you got some plants, you know,
Mm-hmm.
got little living spaces. You got stuff. Basically, it's gonna take just stuff to take up space to make it not look as empty.
Right.
Because
Right.
because the one thing I guess one thing I've noticed with my stuff compared to a lot of other people's builds is people a lot of the people will build rooms with like too high, kind of like this fuel bunker area is up front,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
2 or even 3 blocks high.
Right.
And to me, that is an obscene amount of space being used.
Yeah.
At least for
Yeah.
me, at least. I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely gives you those huge like cathedral-like spaces and stuff to make a ship like feel massive. But I mean, on my side, I'm like, well, I mean, you're walking through any other like most other commercial ships or something like that on the service
Mm-hmm.
or crew deck area, it's only like 10 feet tall.
Right.
That's like the
Right.
size of a CV block. So I mean,
Yeah.
one CV block tall kind of makes sense to me. Where 2 to 3 CV blocks tall, I'm like, wow, I'm walking through a cathedral.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of space on this ship. So yeah, this is a but just by the sheer virtue of it, it's huge, and
Yeah.
and it blows up the size class and it makes it a bit impractical. But I mean, it's also to carry an SV that's standing upright and walking across the countryside as opposed to being the smaller fighter. So
Right. Right.
yeah, I mean it's a little bit impractical. It's cool. It's for a little RP. It kind of fits in with the other things that were constructed, the other mechs that were working. So
Yeah.
if you
I've
want to,
played the pen and I've played the strategy BattleTech, and I forget there was one strategy game where you had like you shot different weapons and you would color in the parts of the armor that you'd hit with the hammerhead missile. It was crazy. Back in the day.
yeah, I played BattleTech on tabletop a lot, and then just kind
Oh
of continued
yeah.
that through Mech Warrior. Mech Warrior
Yep.
is always nice.
Yep.
I really hope I could have swore they're working on a newer Mech Warrior. I hope they are, because I really do miss that game. I need a. Last thing I played was like Mech Warrior 4, like 5, 10 years ago. At this point, need a new one.
Boy, this is a big boy. Wow.
See, that's to further kind of juxtapose that. I'll
Mhm.
pull out the ship I was making along at the same time frame, which is this
Mhm.
guy here. And this was like like for
Ah.
multiplayer servers. This was the first major kind of thing I think I use on a regular basis. This is the Rhine. This was another Alpha 8-9-ish build.
Wow,
Um,
that's nice.
Made of combat steel. It's got wedge armor in there to keep it protected, but it's basically just a miner. It's
Mhm.
a lot. I think I call it a combat miner because it does have weapons on it, but the weapons are mostly self-defense, and I wouldn't want to try to take on anything bigger than like a patrol or something like that, like a small combat
Mhm.
ship patrol that just happened upon me. Because it's not. Let's see, weapons won't break the bank. Let's see here. Let's see, it's mostly 30 mil and Gatling guns to kind of protect itself from drones and whatnot while it's
Mhm.
out doing its thing. But it's minor.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for. It's supposed to go out and mine stuff. Um, Major design aspects of it that were put in place when I first got it built. If you notice, it's up on pontoons here, basically
Mhm.
superstructure.
Yeah.
If you go along to the back of it here, with this turret retracted, this one, where's it here? There we are.
Uh-huh.
You can then dock one of the old school little tiny HV box miners right
Uh-huh.
where that spot is, and so you could dock it, and also depending how it was fitted,
Mhm.
you could dock it enough so that way that the top of it would dock to this pad right here.
Right.
The cockpit of that vessel would probably be somewhere right about here. So as soon as you You can kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
get out of it and then go right up into the ship.
Right.
Or
Right.
even if you didn't, if you had a jetpack equipped and you were just landed on normal ground, you could just hop or click on the
Mhm.
door and then hop, and you'd be able to get up
Mhm. Mhm.
and be underneath the control of the elevator right away. But yeah, it's fairly. If it were RP wise, it'd just be a ship for maybe 2 to 3 people. You got your
Right.
main living space right here. You got your cockpit and control right here in the front.
Nice.
It's all underslung, so this way, if you ever get into a major fight, just turn your back to the enemy, and
Mhm.
you've got multiple layers of combat steel and another deck above you to protect you, and then you just
Mhm.
set course away and get out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Couple
ship
of
is
my
built.
builds, I've got basically missiles and guns and stuff, mainly in the ass.
Oh yeah,
If
running
you're
away.
gonna follow me, I'm gonna shoot at you. Yeah, definitely.
It's that's the way this thing is built, basically to kind of protect you in the cockpit. So if you're getting
Mhm.
shot at, just face away from the person and fly away as fast as possible, and it'll
Right.
get you out of there. Now you get full med bay. From the back here on either side, you've got access to all your engineering stuff and storage through
Mhm.
either side here. The opposite side has a constructor. This side has yeah, just some storage boxes, and
Mhm.
it's been modified a bit since extensions came out, so I retrofitted a little bit, but
Right.
it's still a bit dated because there's the newest version I'll pull out after this guy here has all little creature comforts that kind of make this guy a
Mhm.
little bit obsolete. On the opposite side here, you got a constructor though, so you can just kind of fire this up and do some work while you're on the go. Sitting
Mhm.
right down there. And then yeah, I mean this is pretty much it. It's fairly no frills because everything you need is packed up into this one little space here. But I use this thing extensively with a small planetary
Mhm.
base,
Mhm.
and the star bases. That's actually I got one parked outside, so when you go back
Mhm.
outside, you can see it. I would set up a network of these small stations everywhere when I went to major systems. Actually, swing on up over here past the what's this guy called, or past the drop ship here.
Okay.
That's the Tiger drop ship. And if you go pack, go back past the fleet. There's a station, a small little station
Oh
floating on.
yeah. Yeah. Way back here. Yeah.
Yep.
There we go.
I built this one for a challenge back in the day, but this is Ursa Minor. This is a self-sustaining
Mhm.
outpost station.
Uh huh.
It Everything is off. All the major production stuff's off. It should be able to run off of solar power if you power it next to a decent star.
Mhm.
But I would set up just a network of these because they're not horribly expensive to manufacture and construct and set up. And then once it's there, it would run by itself,
Right.
almost definitely. And it's got enough stuff on board. It got enough storage on board to be able to process materials down and deconstruct things if I need to, and also grow me a little bit of food and give me a
Mhm.
place to live before I hopped in their system. And since they're not horribly expensive, I mean, you could take out one enemy CV with another person or destroy one enemy base
Mhm.
uh, on the ground. And if you harvest it and you log all the materials, you probably have enough to build one of these things.
Cool.
They don't require a massive amount of materials to get running
Right.
because
Right.
it's all fairly basic stuff. But I mean, to live aboard, to give you just a spot to dump stuff that's
Yeah.
less likely to get attacked than a place on the ground, perfect.
Yeah.
Um, I'm debating if I want to build one with a shield generator because shields take up so much power to run. Um,
Right. Yeah.
and I'm not sure if a star in the current state of solar, at least in standard and Imperium, would be able to sustain like
Mhm.
shield. But I'm gonna experiment around with it. I haven't played in a little bit, and
Right.
I'm gonna do another star base. It's gonna be self-sustaining. I might do a shield generator with it again. I might not. I don't know. I do. Oh, I did put one in here. Okay, I put one in here, but
Yeah.
the solar won't sustain it. It does have a
Right.
power generator
Right.
set up to be able to run it, just to make sure it's got enough power. The other one, the more permanent one that I'm working on, that I haven't released yet because it's not quite done, but I don't know if you're interested in taking a look at it or not here.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm making a big boy version called Ursa Major. to go with the miner here, that would be it's kind of more of a fixed installation, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Ah. Oh, wow.
Same general shaping and idea, obviously.
Yeah.
But
That's nice.
she's got two major garage bays.
Yes,
One
she
that
does.
right up the side here. You can put a couple small fighters there if you want to.
Yeah,
Not
man.
a problem. You probably put one or two up on top of either side as well. And then one of
Uh-huh.
the sides has a repair station. I think it's, oh yeah, the opposite side here, it says repair on it right away. Has a
Mm-hmm.
repair pad, so if you want to repair stuff, you can just hop inside and get it done. But yeah, so this one would be like when I was playing before, I would just build Ursa miners like crazy in every major system that had like good resources that I want to be able to access regularly, and use it for processing. This would be more like I'm gonna pick a home system, and this is what I'm gonna put there.
Right, right.
Now, if you go down to the bottom of this guy, though, there's your main engineering spaces with your fuel and whatnot, and I think I've got a shield generator in here too. Yep, there's major shield generator room back there too.
Oh, yeah.
So this will, and the way this is set up is it's set to run off of, well, at least the way I intend it to work is that it's set to run off of a certain amount of power, and then if
Mm-hmm.
by flipping a couple switches in the P menu, you'd be able to basically turn on the shield generators and the other generators to power the shield generators, so you're not running a whole bunch of stuff you don't need to all the time.
Right, right.
But it's a work in progress. She's not quite there yet because I gotta still judge my like the loads I need and the
Mm-hmm.
power that I need, stuff like that. This takes you back into central processing here, kind of like the other one where we were before.
Mm-hmm.
Same general layout and kind of feel as we were. But as we go back around to the other lift here,
Mm-hmm.
the main foyer area has been redone quite a bit. Next floor up. So you still got the got sick bay in here now as opposed to your grow room.
Right,
You've got your main engineering area with your deconstructors and your furnace still.
right.
So you can do stuff you can still do stuff in here. And then you've got over on the side here where it used to be quarters is now the administrator's office along with ammo storage in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go
Cool.
up got a little nice little office space up here. If you're parked over a planet, you got a nice little view of the planet, especially since you want this thing to face the sun to get power.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You have a nice little space to administrate your little empire from up here.
Right on. Oh, I like it. Yeah, this is cool.
And then down the opposite side, if you're actually going to be living here on full term, there's a series of little apartments down here.
Mm-hmm.
To here, the residential wing.
Ah, the residential area.
There we are. You've got some major grow plot areas, and you've got
Mm-hmm.
little apartments up and down here with their own little individual lighting systems and whatnot. And a window.
Mm.
So yeah, you got little rooms. You got everything you need right here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then if you go up the next, I think the next level up is the hangar.
All right.
Yeah, it's a hangar up here. Yeah, so you got little living
Oh,
spaces.
yeah.
You got your hangar facility areas. You got garages. I mean, it's this would be more of a long-term facility. So if you're gonna
Right,
be
right.
this would be a permanent fixture station as opposed to the miners, which are just kind of outpost. One of them is more of a permanent fixture. One of them is more of an outpost,
Right,
basically.
right.
But yeah, these but in both cases, it's just like I think the last time I tested out Ursa Major, it could run its station keeping services, so like
Mm-hmm.
weapons active, no shields, no processing,
Mm-hmm.
no growing or anything like that. It could
Right.
stay stationary and run off its own power supply without a problem, or run off the sun without a problem. But anytime you started doing anything else on board that station, you need to power up the power supplies for smelting or for combat or all the other stuff. But yeah, that's the that one's not quite done yet. I'm still working on that one. That's been a pet project for a while, but I'm never quite happy enough with it. And now since I've been making some more ships and doing some more design things and learning more things and testing out new things, now I'm just like, I gotta go back in here again and redo part of this interior,
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't look right anymore. Oh, let's see. I'm trying to go back through the other stuff I've built here, and stuff that I haven't shown or hasn't been seen really anywhere. There's oh, I'll show you. There's maybe 2 or 3 other things I want to bust out that haven't been featured before. I haven't really shown. Uh, let's see. I'll park myself over here by the Yorktown because this one is kind of like another carrier.
All right.
So I've been thinking. I was thinking kind of like my design philosophy and build philosophy, and I mean, realistically speaking, for carriers, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because a carrier can be anything. I mean,
Right.
anything that carries something is technically a carrier, I guess.
Right.
But the way I see it, carriers are things that operate in space. You want to
Mm-hmm.
this way you can dedicate most of your CPU and everything you got available to you towards carrying a bunch of stuff from one system to another system, and then supporting it like storage and stuff like that. It's not a warship. I don't think it's necessarily supposed to go out there and engage things directly. Because I mean, if it's a carrier, you should probably have your SVs go do that for you. So
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to things laying on a base transporting tanks, I tend to think of those as mobile bases and not necessarily carriers.
Right. Right.
So for my builds that I'm doing now, I will either do a carrier. This is strictly now mostly space based, or might be able to go into an atmosphere, but it's primarily built for space. And then I'll build things called mobile field bases. And mobile field bases are designed to basically be landed on a ground and be a base,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can take it up into space and move it around again, um, to get from point A to point B. But
Right. Right.
its primary purpose is to be a facility first, transportation first, and then like attacking things would be like tertiary towards the back of its of stuff it needs to do. So the first mobile field base here that I built was the cow pens, which is this
Mm-hmm.
guy here, and its primary purpose is to be a base, a mobile
Right.
base.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's got enough lift and enough protection for you to put it on a planet. It's got enough storage space, internal high capacity storage space wise, to take 1 to 2 medium to large tanks or multiple miners. And then the flat carrier deck on top will allow you to carry multiple SVs, or if you want to ramp stuff, you can put multiple tanks up on top and carry it with you. Um, the bulk of the inside of this thing is mostly either steel construction or really cargo container construction to store stuff, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
ammo or goods or whatnot. And I try to keep the thrust or the lift to weight ratio fairly high, so you
Right.
can obviously carry a bunch of stuff that you're picking up and bringing with you, and then everything
Mm-hmm.
else you're going to be looting and taking apart and leaving with you. So this is the aft end, is all your engineering stuff. Got your fuel, got your shield generators,
Uh-huh.
got your
Uh-huh.
power generators right here, warp core. But this is starting to get more towards a philosophy now, where it's just like with the previous ships, where they've all been like huge. It's just like, well, the less resources I can use and the smaller I can make this, the less walking I need to do, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be easier that way.
Yeah.
So now we're starting to cram everything together into tight spots.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But it might be me. To me personally, it feels more realistic that way.
Mm-hmm.
Looking through like pictures of like and watching documentaries of interiors of modern warships, it's just like, all right, you're gonna have to cram yourself into this little space here between these pipes to get yourself some sleep every night.
Well,
Because
if the damn Xerox would get hung up on doors and stairs and shit like we do, I'd be all about this role play shit, you know. But the thing is, they somehow immediately reach their bridge while you're role playing going up 3 sets of stairs or whatever to get to yours. You know, it's like you have to beat those bastards on the draw because apparently all their bridges are absolutely fast access.
all of them. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
they've
I
got
mean, they're immediately. Yeah.
they got chairs just mounted on the flight deck somewhere. They
Oh
strap in.
yeah,
You know what they're
it's
doing
yeah.
now.
Their shit is not role play. No, I mean their shit's on. It's
Oh
on.
yeah, all the
Yeah,
time.
all the time. Yeah. Yeah, buddy.
Here's your crew area. You got
Mhm.
a little bunk room back there, and you've got it's a teleporter room up here. Yeah, teleporter and little cargo storage armory area right there.
Mhm.
And then even still, I mean, it's one of my ships. So you have access to your thrusters right away in case you need to make repairs or something breaks.
Right.
You can just get to it right quick.
Hmm.
What's in here? 9 block row room right there. Still have
Mhm.
access to get food if you need it.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't be a base if you couldn't grow food on it, as far
Exactly.
as I can tell. Here's my main flight deck access right here on deck number 2. Head up and
Oh
walk
yeah.
out, and there you are. You're all set.
Oh nice.
Made a sneaky little captain's day cabin here on the in-between deck for this and the flight deck area. Very sneaky. It's right in between.
Mhm. Oh
Little,
yeah.
little day cabin and a bathroom.
Right. Right.
The captain's never far away from the action if he needs to fly this thing.
Right.
And then main bridge area. It feels more like a combat information room or anything more like a Starfleet type of bridge, I guess we put it that way. But I
But
mean, I wanted
traffic
it to be,
control tower, you know? That's what
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
thinking. Yeah, you're up here, you're calling the shots and bringing the ships in and out and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a modern carrier. You gotta got your ships coming in. You've got
Mhm.
you got hover vessels that are gonna be coming in that need to get repaired and stuff like that. So you want to make sure you've got ample control for that type of thing. So
Right. Right.
yeah, this is I never fit into a category for a challenge. This was actually the original reason this was built was a friend of mine had a massive vessel, another crater that you should have on at some point named Semp. Um,
Mhm.
he has a massive vessel that he made, a massive carrier, and he wanted something that was smaller that could slot into his existing vessel, and that can be used as like a mobile base for like away missions and scouting runs to different systems and stuff like that. So
Right.
I bought this. This will actually slide into his ship, and then he has a access port built onto the inside of his ship, so you can drive tanks through the middle of his ship over to where mine is, load up the tanks on board the ship, fly it out, and the SVs can then just land on it and head out. I think the difference is that his version doesn't have a control tower where mine does, because
Right. Right.
it seems like it makes sense. You should have a control tower.
Yeah.
It's definitely a carrier looking type
Well, you
thing.
can fly from it, right? You have yeah, you got the control
Yeah,
you
I think
got a
so.
control seat in there, yeah.
Yep, you can fly it right from up here.
Looks like a good place to have it.
Oh yeah. And the one I built for him specifically, instead of having a teleporter room up front here, you would take out where these blocks are and the indentation of this hull
Mhm.
is your bridge area instead. Those rooms don't exist, and instead there's a bridge, and the teleporters move down
Gotcha.
to the bottom deck. But I mean, it
Gotcha.
functions as the same purpose as it's its own little self-contained base of operations basically, and it can
Mhm.
carry repair things and operate on its own, and then report back to the mothership when it's all set to go.
Nice.
Um, but yeah, let's see. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other oddities here that I've built that might be interesting to take a look at, or people might find useful. The most recent thing I've been working on is for the challenge, so that's going to be coming out on
Yeah, you don't want to
Saturday.
show
So I want to
that.
do that one.
Yeah, you don't want to show that.
I want to show
Yeah.
that one. I'll pull out. I guess because trying to go through also what I've got here. A lot of the stuff some of the other things I've had are kind of older that aren't
Uh-huh.
quite great any longer. But you know what? There's three things or two more things, or I think I want to show.
Okay.
Um, because I want to get a little bit back into base building, a bit, because I've played my playthroughs have mostly been CV based and with using SVs and HVs from other builders and other designs to test out and stuff like that. But I think I want to get back to trying to do bases and doing doing like not base combat, but it's primarily combat out of SVs and HVs going and operating out of bases as opposed to using CVs for everything.
Bases
It's
need
just
some love in Reforged Eden. They really do.
I think they do. I think just they need love in general. I just don't think they're
Well,
used as much
it's
anymore.
just in Reforged Eden,
Hmm.
the whole quest line encourages you to travel, 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 travel. Go way the fuck over here, do this. Go over here, do this. Go over there, do that. Basically, all your plants are going to die. And I'd been kicking around an idea of, now for space bases only, if there was a way you could do some kind of limited warp drive
Hmm.
for your space base, and it had a countdown, where you could clear out a sector, you could put like a warp buoy where you wanted the base from where it was, wherever the hell it was, and you could basically warp it in, and move your little
Oh, I
space
see.
base with
Okay.
you.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously, land bases are going to have to stay put. That would be a limiting factor, and the fact that the warp buoy would take 24 either real life or game day hours or something so you're not abusing it, and it may um, you may only get to do it like once every 30 game day. I don't know, but it would just be nice to be able, if you're putting all that time, you've put time into a base, you've really made it. What's happening in Reforged is people become kind of base bound. And it's sad, because they love their base, they grow attached to it, but yet all these travel
Yeah.
quests, it's like, yeah. But anyways,
Game. Yeah,
that's
it's just a weird conundrum because the game is
yeah,
based upon wanting to explore, but on the same side, it's just like then why are there bases? Why is there bases?
yeah. Why even right? Why even have them? Yeah,
So
exactly.
this guy here was one of my actual original answers to that from
Mhm.
working on ground bases. The
Right.
way it looks weird, but the primary what you would do with this is you
Mhm.
would you'd spawn it in.
Mhm.
You go to the top of a mountain. Actually, I'm sorry. You would
Mhm.
then work on spawning it in with your drone.
Uh huh.
And the idea is to bury this base inside of a mountain all the way
Mhm.
up to the berry marker line that's on here.
Right. I see it. Yeah.
So the only thing that you would see if you're flying over the landscape was just this basically pad sitting
Mhm.
out above the landscape.
Right.
So you can land on it, and that would be it. The
Right.
only way to get into the base would be from up top here.
Mhm. Mhm.
So with that being said, obviously if you wanted to get into the base, you'd have to do a lot of digging and digging out of the base. But
Oh
once you're
yeah.
inside, though, take a look around here. So you also have to hand dig this out too, because this is since the only way in is through basically this elevator shaft. Well,
Mhm.
either elevator shaft, I should say.
Mhm.
Um, you're just doing a lot of digging,
Yeah.
hand digging,
Yeah. Yeah.
hand digging for days.
And it's worse than they kind of nerfed the laser drill. So yeah,
Oh, really?
it's
Okay,
even
yeah.
yeah, it's terrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This and now believe me, there's people that do it. Don't get me wrong, they do it, but not this guy. Not this
Oh,
guy. Yeah.
I get you now. Because I'm one of those guys that have done it before, where it's just like, well, I want this base to work. I'm gonna dig it out.
Yep. Yep.
But this is it. This would be the base once it's fully dug out. It's mostly empty because I wanted you to be able to kind of fill it
Mhm.
as you needed, what your concerns or needs were.
Right.
But you've
That's
got your
O2.
O2 room. You've
Mhm.
got a space for repair pad right there against the
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
your full grow room with back in the day enough for was it I think six grow I think it was six full grow pots,
Mhm.
six full rations,
Yeah.
five full rations. I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
Um, so I got you. You start off with one. There's space for expansion, obviously.
Mhm.
Over here you've got like a basic weird sleeping room. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I
This
see.
is this is really early on, so I wasn't really good at shaping things out. So I'd
Oh
probably request
yeah.
different, but
Yeah.
you get the idea. Anyways,
Mhm.
you got a bedroom area. You got a forge area where you can install a forge to break down your stuff.
Right.
Spaces for constructors here
Mhm.
along the wall. All your major fuel supply goes right in here, because with
Wow.
especially the way solar works now and the values that it gives, you could not run this base off of solar power. But
Right.
you could probably supplement a little bit, but you definitely could not run it.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Fairly basic sick bay area here,
Mm-hmm.
and then main power storing slash generation with room for expansion.
Yep. Yep.
Then your ammo storage, because back in the day you only needed a couple boxes.
Right.
You're all
Right.
good to go. But I like the idea of the submerged base because it's just like, I don't know, it's very back cavey.
I
It's
love
very
mountain
Batman-like.
bases. My bud Willa Gray, he
Hmm.
last season Reforged Eden, he did a incredible job on a mountain base that he built it in a one of these kind of Dr. Seussy weird planets, with the pink water. You know what I'm talking about. You know that planet.
I get you. Yeah.
And he built it on a high mountain, and he actually built a walkway through the mountain that came out to like this overhang and looked down in this valley. It was just,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah. Bases are cool though. It's just,
Bases are good. I mean, it's
yeah, they're cool.
gotta. I think now, at least in the current meta, if you want to call it that, of the game, I feel the
Hmm.
base is just the end cap. You've done everything. Now it's just you gotta
Right, right.
pick that ideal place to settle and call it a day. That type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
I want it to be where at least I want to get. I think what I'm gonna do, and to try to, I'll say corner the market, but make bases more useful for people, is just to make the idea of a well planned out but quote unquote disposable base. So while you're on planet, you got something you can operate out of, but you're not gonna
Hmm.
feel like, oh, I wasted all those materials on this base. You could
Right,
just be like, all right,
right.
I'm gonna move on to something else. So
Well, if I could give you an angle on that,
sure.
cheap solar space bases that people could put down where they could it, basically, because what happens is
Hmm.
when people build a space base, they put constructors and repair pads. And what you do, if you're into that, build a space base with room to hold all that stuff in it, and then zap all that stuff out, put the letters, and then make it to where they can spawn it in, and it could be anywhere from a cheap solar teleporter base that they can slap down, or it can have the full Monty in it. And you could
Hmm.
you could use the containers extensions and the container controllers, because you can't go wrong with storage.
Hmm.
But like all the guns and stuff like that, because what happens, I know in the multiplayer server, is we
Hmm.
loot all that stuff. We loot all those constructors, and we loot the repair stations, and and then we're running around. You're running around in a CV full of repair stations, constructors, and this, and you're like, hey, you know, I popped up bullet magnets, cheap but roomy space base, and he's got spots for this shit. Boom, boom, and then they can put it in there or whatever.
Hmm. Point taken. Okay. I'll think
Maybe.
about that because the Ursa miner we took a look at here a little bit earlier is
Hmm.
something like that, but it might, realistically speaking, I can try to work on getting, if anything, the costs down on it by changing
Hmm.
some materials.
Yeah.
Because this station is made from combat steel primarily,
Hmm. Hmm.
and unless you're like raiding POIs and fully dismantling them and taking apart like uh,
Hardened
enemy
would be
combat
perfect.
ships,
Yeah,
yeah,
hardened would
stuff
be
like that.
perfect. Yeah.
So get
And see, I run with two or three buddies, and if it had, I know this is gonna sound ridiculous, 24 320K containers, perfect. Yeah,
Well,
that's
on
that's what.
on the flip side, though. I mean, if once again this is going to be a disposable kind of base here for you, do you want to put a bunch of
Yeah,
like 320K storage containers that people are just going to loot and clear out if they
yeah,
attack it?
yeah. Well, if it's PvP, yeah. I wasn't thinking PvP at all. I was
Oh,
just
see,
thinking,
you're saying you're like, we're gonna raid somebody's base and just take all their stuff and then get out of here.
no, no. I don't PvP at all. That's, yeah.
Yeah,
Me,
for
it's just a cheap kind of cool little base that you could fill up with stuff you've looted.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna take a look at that. You're saying hardened steel for the most part, and just empty that people can fill in with things. I can make that. Might be able to make something like that work. Give me something to work on here, or food for thought, or something, or idea to chew on for a little while as I figure out what I'm gonna do next here for my next
I
build.
mean, we got boxes of advanced constructors, and I mean, we don't want a decon yet because we might find it, a need, but
You just want like satellite station, like something small satellite, like a repeater almost
yeah.
for teleportation and stuff like that, that type of thing.
But if you had the rooms pre-marked for the extra stuff, boom, who's to say? You're like, oh, well, let's put an advanced constructor here, or
All right.
you know,
And it's got to be small and it's got to be cheap. All right.
well,
I can think about that and work on it.
reasonable.
Reasonable.
It's kind of mid-game stuff, yeah.
Mid
I
game.
build
All
it the
right.
sun. I mean, I'm exclusively survival building, so.
I got you. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me stew on that. I can get
Oh
back
yeah,
to you on something.
it's just if you're interested in bases, space bases seems to be kind of the pinnacle. At least in Reforged Eden, everybody will get their land base built, and they'll have that love affair with the land base,
Hmm.
but then they'll get addicted to solar. you know, and in Reforged Eden, you can have 24 solar panels.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a big proponent for solar. I
Oh,
mean,
I think so. Yeah, I think so
if
too.
if I had the like if they had an opportunity for you to like get some solar to work somehow with CVs,
Mhm.
I would have done that like from the
Mhm.
get go. Because I mean, and it's not necessarily the fact I want to power my CV fully on solar power.
Mhm.
What I do
Mhm.
want to do is if I have it parked there and I have it pointed at the sun, that the solar power would give me enough power to keep all my other systems running while I'm waiting for stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
my cargo ship, the Leslie Ann's got 24 solar panels, 6 batteries. Yeah.
I'll probably you can do stuff like that in Reforged. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
standard Imperium, you can't do that just yet. So
Nope.
I'm hoping they
Nope.
make that available for CVs so I can do stuff just like that. Because I
We'll
would
hope. We'll hope.
fingers crossed, man. Like I said, just
Or I can tease you over to the dark side. Join the
maybe
dark side, Bullet Magnet.
maybe someday. Maybe someday.
Maybe so.
Not quite now.
Or if they start this vanilla server, you could be an admin. I mean, you know your shit. And the thing
No, I
is,
mean
you
if
you ought to
if they want to get to that point,
you ought to
I'll
throw
talk about it.
you ought to throw your hat in the ring to send somebody say, hey, if you guys do a vanilla server, I'd love to help be a admin. I just want to throw my hat in the ring and mention Bone Dog.
Oh,
You know?
they know. I'll talk with them again about stuff like that.
Yeah,
Usually
yeah,
they're already overstaffed, as it were. So,
yeah.
but
But
I'm always happy to help them out if they ever need extra manpower for it.
oh yeah, but it's a great community. I mean, I just enjoy the shit out of it. It's really friendly. It's real. They push the social, but
Hmm.
I really like that part of it. But
That's great. Yeah, I
let
mean,
me. I need to ask a hard hitting question.
oh,
Okay,
here we go.
I'm
Sure.
sorry. I'm sorry. What's your favorite texture?
My favorite texture.
I
Oh
told you I'd have a hard hitting question. What's your
God.
favorite texture?
The one that I probably get the most use out of, and that I
Hmm.
like the most. It's not the standard default steel
Uh
texture.
huh.
I
Uh huh.
think it's the default hardened steel texture. I think. Hang on. I do enough building. I probably should know this, but I don't. No, it's not the hardened steel one either. It's not the combat steel one. It's like this distressed version of the base steel texture.
Is
Um,
it? Hold on. I'm gonna spray. I'm gonna deface your. Is it?
where you parked at here? Let's find you.
Is it?
Right here.
I'm at your big base with the that goes underground. Is it that one?
Yeah, that's him. That's what I'm looking for.
That
Something
that's
about that one.
that that's Annie No Ames as well. I'm just, I should have a chalkboard on my wall where I'm marking textures.
You should. You can do your you can do like a top ten question type deal. You can do a comparison run between everybody and see where we all
That's
sit.
right. That's right. This is Bullet Magnet's favorite texture, and this is Annie Noame's.
That's another good builder. You gotta get on here at some point and have him go through stuff for you.
Right on.
Here, so
Well,
I'll do two more things here for you because I
okay,
want to eat up your entire evening.
okay.
I
Oh, dude,
pulled
I'm
up
eating spaghetti and meatballs while I'm doing this. You're not hurting me at all, dude.
I pulled out the Rhine from before, and I pulled
Uh
out
huh.
the most recent incarnation of that ship called the Thames or Thames.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
my river series of minor work vessels. But yeah, get an idea of kind of a progression, like from a very base scheme to like where the current like design scheme and color scheme and everything else kind of fits into play. It's been a lot of progression over the past. I don't know. This line of ships is maybe two a year and a half apart, I think, in design.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's been from the Rhine here, which came out back in Alpha. I want to say 7 or 8ish, give or take, to the Thames here, which is or Thames, which is Alpha 11, 12/1 current, or what do you want to call it.
Right.
A lot of design changes, a lot of just overall design change, color scheme differences put in
Mm-hmm.
place, mechanic differences. Added a whole bunch of other stuff to it, made it more RP livable
Right.
compared to the original one, and it really is just a progression thing, and for people that are starting to get building and working on things, it really is just a time spent in like working on stuff type thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of because I mean eventually you get to an idea of like you know what you like, your design kind of methodology is. It's just an issue of just refining it and making the most of it. I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
in the case of like the Rhine or the Rhine going to the Thames, it becomes a lot more about smoothing out some of the weird jagged edges on like the hulls and stuff like that. Like I'll start drawing on here. Where's my color gun?
I'm looking at the underneath here.
Where is it? Color and texture tool. Boom. All right. So on the Rhine over here,
Okay.
for instance, like areas like this here, like getting the getting the shaping of like areas like this here to work out better, so it's not nearly as jagged.
That's my favorite color. How'd you know?
This is it's not quite this color, but I think it's this color is the color I paint. Yeah. If I'm gonna be doing like a full hull redesign, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
color like every block on the surface to
Mm-hmm.
know where the surface is. That's the color it goes with, that hot pink.
Right.
Actually, do I still have? I wonder if I do. I had a saved copy of one of the ships I was working on when I was doing a full redesign. I think it's still pink, but I'm not sure where it is. It's somewhere in my list of stuff that I had to sort. Oh wait, there it is.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'd
so
fly that. I would totally fucking fly that right there.
that's the Valley Forge stripped out of everything, most of
Mm-hmm.
everything right now to figure out like, and once again, like redesign where I'm gonna put everything.
Right.
So it's just spray paint that thing pink, take everything out, and then start working the interior to figure out what to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's all about between changing the blocks and then adjusting like adjusting for styles and stuff like that. It's all about trying to figure out how to get the thing, at least for me, how to get things more streamlined. But then
Mm-hmm.
after that, how to take away like just flat angles and flat like 90-degree angles especially,
Right.
so it doesn't look like a box.
Right.
And
Right.
I'm still guilty of it. I still got stuff that looks or things that look boxy every once in a while here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and bits and pieces. But compared to things I've made earlier in my building career, it's
Mm-hmm.
nowhere near as bad. And as time progresses, it just keeps getting better. And it's all about just
Right. Right.
getting that shape and just giving it little things that kind of that break the straight angle edges and
Mm-hmm.
give it just kind of variation in texture and
Right.
variation in should I put it, not field mapping, but just the surface of it. So it's not all clean lines all the time. Put it that way.
Right.
Yeah, there's I remember, what was it? XCal did a challenge a while back where you had to build stuff that was basically just naked, didn't have any type of color or texture or text attached to it. It was just the shaping of the ship. You had to base everything off that.
Right.
And I think it's a good practice. I think everybody should. I mean, I do it not quite so much for this month, unfortunately, only because I'm on a time frame. I just posted my challenge thing yesterday to make sure it was done on time.
Right.
But it's always a good thing to, at least when I'm designing any type of ship, you get to get the body shaping kind of where you want it to be, and then once the body shaping is done, you start to put like all your weapons and accoutrement on it, and you get it set up. Then you start taking a look at it, and you're like, okay, all looks flat. What can I do to both kind of change the lines of the ship to give it more character, but also make it look, I don't know, do I want to make it look more mean? Do I want to make it look more industrial? Do I want to make it look kind of like more do I want to actually make it look more boxy because I want to make it look more kind of like a piratey thing or something like that? Or
Yeah.
as you get so some of these ships like on the Thames here, towards the back, it's like, how can I adjust some of the ship to make it look more like engine nacelles, or
Right.
get that in the shell shaping, or how can I make this exhaust port and these mechanics make it look like these feed into something? So it's not some for me. It's obviously you want the ship to do what it's supposed to do. So if it's gonna be a miner, you want it to be able to mine, because if it can't do that, then it's not exactly what it was built for.
Right. Right.
But on the flip side, once that form piece is done, the function for me, it's got like, well, it's got to make it, or at least got to get that feeling for me where it feels like it's doing what it's intended to do. So I wanted this. I wanted the Thames Marine was going to be like a kind of an industrial, like almost feel like mass produced, like small mining vessel. So blocky, bulky, like feel like it was made of stamped metal and put together and sent out the door. So
Right. Right.
at the end of the day, it was just like, huh, what can I do to do that? Well, it's going to be, let's get some more basic, kind of like that garbage steel texture, if you want to call it that, not the shiny, pretty stuff on there.
Right.
Let's go ahead and put some imperfect edges on there. Let's change a couple things around, make it look a little more jagged, comparatively speaking, to some of the other stuff I've constructed. Yeah, so just, if you got an idea with something, run with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Run with it. Keep putting blocks down. Make small adjustments here and there, but every time you think you're done with it, let it sit for a day. Come back and take a look at it again, because I almost guarantee once you do that, you'll find something else. You're like, oh, okay, I want to adjust this real quick. But always give yourself another day or something, or another day if you can, on the build to take a look and poke around and see if there's anything else you want to adjust on it before you send it out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then don't be like me and don't really procrastinate or get sidetracked with other things. We got a challenge build coming up, especially if you know it's going to be carrying multiple CVs. And you
Right.
don't build big anymore.
Right.
Your ship balloons the size class, like, I think my challenge build is about size class 10 or 11, 10, I think, maybe 11, and it's been the largest build I think I've done the past like half a year. So
Right. Right.
I just don't build that big anymore, or haven't built that big in a while. So it's like, oh crap, this is getting big. Yeah, the last bit I want to show you is from way back towards the early era of my building, because I had a lot of time and gumption. I've been watching too many historical movies and whatnot.
Right.
This is the Constellation. But
Oh my God.
when you want to go attack somebody
Yeah.
in the deep reaches of space and give them that full broadside, the Constellation is the way to go and do it.
There you go.
Slap some cores on the surface of this thing. It'll kind of work. All right. So, it is it's huge. It's
Yeah, I
size class
noticed. Yeah. Yeah.
size class 18. Yeah, because once again I don't build ships this large anymore.
That can go into the Reforged Eden server,
It can.
and just that. You bring that in, and then you put the rest of the shit in it. Yeah. Holy
Oh man,
hell.
no, it's yeah, I've got 4 cores in there, and it's still not moving. That's okay. It's all
That's a
working. It's
boat,
really good.
baby. That is a
It's
boat.
about. She's got
That is a real boat.
let me open up all the weapons here.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, so the all the weapons are deeply turreted into the
Yeah.
side of the ship. I think it's mostly plasmas. This is some artillery pieces here, or flak. I mean,
Hmm.
it's all built to vanilla weapons standards
Right, right.
for back in the day. There's no lights because, well, it's an old 18th century sailing ship, so it didn't have lights on it. So
Hmm.
come on now, you gotta carry around torches and whatnot.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so let's see here.
You could put tribal furnishings in it. Put those sconces,
Oh yeah, Wisconsin's
right?
everywhere. Right, I gotta do that. So you got a hangar bay up on top. You've got towards the very aft of the ship. Um, after the ship on the I don't say the top deck, but above the weather deck here. There you are. Yeah, all the way towards the back here.
Okay.
This would be your main bridge right from here. This is where you would operate everything on board the ship.
Ah,
Um,
gotcha.
right from back in this
Holy
area.
hell. Yeah.
Gives you good vision towards around in the back here and whatnot.
Hmm.
And then you'd be able to use this turbo lift here to access the back mast area to
Uh-huh.
get up to the decks or to go down beneath or down below
Right.
and access everything else. Go to the bottom here real quick. You've got aft gun deck. That gets you to the gun controls, I believe. Yeah, because I wanted to set this up. Yeah, here we go. So I want to set this up kind of like so you could theoretically man each gun individually if you want to have people on board sitting at each of these.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Manual control would be here. I forced open all the doors, but you could do like manual control here, and this would open the door and activate this turret,
Hmm.
and then you could just gun this turret from this spot and manually fire it to everything.
Cool.
You got both front and back for those. You got all along the sides here on this gun deck here,
Hmm.
and then yeah, if you go most of this is kind of empty space. If I'm perfectly honest. There's some
Right,
extra areas
right.
for like storage and whatnot, but yeah, I just had a serious burr up my butt just because I've been watching Master and Commander I think too many times and figured, hey, let's go ahead and build an Imperium. Yeah, it's too big. It's not practical. It doesn't turn. It's out of CPU compliance at this point. Uh,
This is purely a passion piece, sir.
it's pure for yeah, it's purely a passion
Purely a
piece.
passion piece. Yep.
Back in Alpha 8 when none of the number or 5, I mean when none of the numbers mattered and you can do whatever you wanted to
Yeah.
go around doing stuff like this. But now in my older, more refined state, we've gotten ourselves to more reasonable size, like size class 6 and 7 vessels that are
Right.
you can operate on a weekend and have fun playing, as opposed to grinding your entire life to be able to put together something in game.
Man, this
Ah,
is cool though. This is very cool.
yeah, it's I think this is a pretty good representational cut, if you will, of
Hmm.
the work today. I've got some more stuff up on my workshop as
Hmm.
well. Obviously, there's some. You know what? You want to show? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you got a bunch of Warhammer fans out there or not.
Oh
Could be another
yeah,
huge ship to
lots of
go through.
folks like Warhammer.
I dug it out once. I'll dig it out again. This one, I don't. I can't bring. I might be able to bring it current, but it's not going to be easy. But I spent too much time working on it, so I'll end on this one. I promise.
We can keep going. I'll just need to sleep it sometime.
No, I know. This I will.
We'll have to do a
I'll
part two, which is fine. I don't care, dude.
I'll seriously call it on this one because yeah, I mean you've been gracious enough with your time enough.
Oh
I
no,
won't keep you
man,
here forever.
no.
Besides,
This
you
is
gotta
great, man.
you guys have a Xerox base go raid too, man. You gotta check those guys out.
Shit, the Xerox, they just keep making more. I can't ever get done with them.
We put something on the side here so I can get the lights turned on.
You guys on Anvil can get on Anvil Creative. You got to get a copy of this constellation. Anybody brings this in Reforged Eden, that shit will be bad. Ass.
Like the system method
Somebody
of
do
breeding.
it. Somebody'll do it. Somebody'll Xeno the sumbitch. I bet you $1. The Xeno ship.
That'd be ridiculous. Be
Oh
a
yeah.
giant like 18th century frigate out there in combat with everybody.
Oh yeah.
This is
Ah, the Tanner. Okay.
yeah, this is the one I arguably spent the most time ever building anything for a ship. This is kind of Warhammer
Oh
40k
yeah.
inspired. It's a
Yeah. Yeah.
in the scale of Warhammer 40k, this would be the tiniest of vessels.
Right.
But I want to go with that look and feel.
I
I've
did
got
the Warhammer role playing game. That was pretty interesting.
hmm,
Yeah, the
the
this is
fantasy or the
definitely war.
sci-fi.
This is very Warhammer.
Oh, okay. Forward weapons. Yeah, I've got some weapons built into the front here. Here we are.
Yeah, I saw this one pop out.
Yeah, there we go. So you've got some direct firing lasers and rockets up front. I've got
Mhm.
artillery piece in the bottom here to pop out, and then we got a general assortment of weapons. It's not for purposes of a combat ship in Imperium.
Mhm.
It's not great necessarily for that. But if you're just messing around in PVE and you just want to have some fun and you've got a bunch
Right. Well,
to
again,
blow, it just looks cool.
this is a stylized build based on Warhammer. This is,
Mhm.
I mean, you're trying to recreate a feeling, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And so yeah, if you're gonna redo it or use it for Imperium, you want to slap some more weapons up in here. But
Oh
just
yeah.
for that look and feel, which was what I was going for, I think it gets there. I think it nails it. Still want my standardized
That's
docking
cool.
collar so I can use the actual docking port on this thing.
Mhm. Oh yeah, I see it.
But if you're boarding through here, I guess this is your main entry
Mhm.
hallway. You've got this would be cryo storage. So
Mhm.
if you want to put a bunch of Space Marines away to sleep for a while, they'd all be sleeping in here. Wake them up as necessary. Get them ready for
Right.
combat.
Right.
You've got your actual sick bay across the way over here.
Of course, their cryo chambers would probably need to be 2 blocks.
Yeah, well, I guess that's true. It's not really scale for
Yeah.
really scale for us, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got your sick bay over here on the side. You can get everything taken care of if you need to right away.
Mhm.
Um, these are both up in this in between deck area here has a bunch of crew quarters area, which are all once you've seen one, you've seen pretty much all of them really. But
Mhm.
that's the showers.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's like small little
Right.
small little bedrooms, nothing fancy,
Mhm.
just enough for keep people occupied and whatnot.
Mhm.
And go back down again here real quick. Make passage over to the engineering sections. This area here has a little SV companionship that goes with it,
Uh huh.
and it docks up here. And then using the P menu controls,
Mhm.
uh, ship there'd be little drop pods that just basically
Oh
fall,
yeah. Yeah, I
so you can
gotcha.
overfly an area and they can just gravity fall out of the ship and land.
Right. Right.
And you've got main hangar back here, which is big enough for a couple small SVs
Mhm.
with a main hangar door.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you get a couple small SVs up here on the main pad, and then I have a ground sensor on here that you can enable through the wall switch. But
Uh huh.
if you land this ship, you can then theoretically drive like an HV up into here as well if you wanted
Oh
to. Do a little
yeah.
bit,
Yeah, I gotcha.
it do a little bit of finagling, but you could make that work if you wanted.
Gotcha.
And then let's see. Oh yeah, the other major, really cool part of this ship is probably the the Space Marine chapel up top.
Ooh, the chapel. Uh-oh.
The little Space Marine chapel. I'm trying to remember how to get.
Do I need to praise the Emperor?
Well, I mean, you should be doing that anyway, sir.
Well, dude, I
Holy
only
Terra.
praise Pentaxid. I'm the high
You only praise
potentate of the pinnacle of the Pentaxid. So
Oh wait, no, I
yeah.
go that way. Sorry.
All
It's
right.
it takes you up to the top. It takes you up to the surface or
Okay.
outside. I'm gonna go back this way. My mistake. It's been a while since I've been in this thing. Needs to be. I need to update it again to make it compliant because
That's
this
the
one is
torpedo
way over
room.
CPO. Did you go forward? Yeah. There's
Am I right?
Yeah, if you want to go forward and where. Let me see if I can find you again.
I'm back in the tube. Back in the elevator. There's C deck.
Oh, go up to A. I think it's A B deck.
Okay. There's C.
I think
And
you're at the torpedo tube. You're at the not torpedo. You're at the surface access. I think.
yeah. Now I'm at the torpedo room.
All the way forward. All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. Where are you here? Torpedo room.
I'm with you.
Oh, there you are. All right, sweet. Okay. Well, since we're here, go up here. The main like combat information center is up this way.
All right.
So you have your battle and chapter masters and whatnot come up here and do all their little planning and whatnot for their invasion of the planets. Flip all their charts and be able to see the stars and whatnot and plan and do their thing. From this little control room up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we go
Space
back,
Wolves. All right.
Space Wolves, I get what was our main inspiration for this originally? It was the original one I thought of was the space sharks, which I think are a derivative of blood angels. I think I want to
Mm-hmm.
say. But the way they operate is they kind of float around with only a few people up and doing
Mm-hmm.
things. They just kind of float around dead in space, and then as they get close to areas that are like enemy areas and stuff like that, they kind of reactivate themselves, come out of cryo sleep, get themselves set, and then they raid, take things, and leave, and disappear
Mm-hmm.
back onto the void. And they all operate on the far edges of like far edges of like map space.
Right.
Yeah, the black like the edge of the galaxy type thing, hanging on the outside, waiting for people and that type of thing, coming out from the depths. So very shark-like in nature and everything. Oh, you're up the A deck here? Okay, yeah, so that's a bridge deck up
Mm-hmm.
there. There are major operations from that area. And then back here, to the cafeteria. And at the back of the ship is my little Space Marine chapel.
Oh, okay.
Side viewing areas as well. But
Mm-hmm.
with the light off, the atmospherics work out pretty well. And then it gives that kind of the sense of ambiance and whatnot. So
Right.
it's all dark and moody, just like a Space Marine ship should probably be. And then yeah. But yeah, this ship in particular, that's why you don't build them this big anymore. I think this
Right.
was like 3 months worth of work, 4 months worth of work to get this thing done,
Wow.
maybe even a little bit longer. Whereas like the challenge ship, which is a bit larger but nowhere near as detailed,
Mm-hmm.
takes a lot less time to get constructed. But it's just still the amount of like mental wear and tear and drain to get it put together after a long
Yeah.
work day. It's just like I can't keep building ships like this big.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, frying my brain.
There I am.
Yeah, yeah. Here you go.
Um.
Sit down.
Yeah. I can. I can. I won't preach about the Pentaxid
Stay. Listen
because
to
you
the
know.
Gospel of Fred here.
Yeah. That. Yeah. That. Yeah. You know. I have a couple of Pentaxid sermons, but I don't want to blaspheme in your house of the Emperor, bro. That would be so wrong. Nah.
Yeah,
This is
this has
nice, man.
been a kind of an overall glimpse into the past
Yeah.
2.5 or so years of work in this game.
Well, you
Getting things
certainly
built and
have a lot of
constructed, put together.
stuff, man. Nice. Anything else you want to show?
Oh man. No, I think I've gone through just about everything I can think of at this point. I've got a bunch of stuff on the workshop. Some of it's
Okay.
updated, some of it's
Okay.
not. There's
Okay.
been
Again, guys, he is a vanilla builder. Okay. So for those of you out there that like the vanilla game, all right.
vanilla game, and
Yep.
also just like basically the project, not the Reforged Eden scenario, but the
Mhm.
Project Eden scenario.
Right.
Most of my ships and also almost any vanilla ship will work in the Project Eden scenario, and then
Gotcha.
because the same base mechanics as vanilla, it just adds more stuff. So you
Mhm.
just swap out some parts and pieces and whatnot, or change things around to your liking. But yeah, any of the ships from the workshop, the ones that are updated
Right.
with the newer headers, should work just fine.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah, you'll
Cool.
see them. The first, I want to say, yeah, probably about 2 to 3 pages of stuff on the workshop should work just fine. Especially the stuff like the new bullet magnet dockyard, like blue headers will work just fine with stuff. And then
Mhm.
yeah, if there's anything in particular anybody sees, feel free to shoot me a
Gotcha.
message or something like that. Let me know,
Gotcha.
and I'll work on getting it updated for you.
All right. All right. Well, listen. Don't be a stranger. You know, you're always welcome. I mean, you know, we got Discord running all the time. You ever see me in chat room? I'll be streaming, frigging around, doing something silly. Always, you know, you're always welcome in here, of course. So maybe we can turn you to the dark side. Maybe we could make you an admin for a vanilla server. Maybe we can get you on a vanilla server. But regardless, you know, I guess that's going to do it for tonight. And I really appreciate you showing me your stuff, man.
Oh,
Okay.
thanks again, Fred, for
It,
having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
I'm putting these up on YouTube. Like I said, we will go down in the annals of YouTube history, sir. Think about that. All right.
Somewhere deep down in those annals
Deep,
of YouTube,
deep down in the annals.
deep down. It's not a B side, it's a C
Right.
side to an
It's a
album. And if
C
you know,
plus
it's a
side.
C
Yeah.
plus side. And if you don't know what that means, you need to hit up Wikipedia because
Yeah.
we're old.
That's
So
right. That's right.
yeah, so this is the C side of the YouTube here. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate
No
it. It's
problem. No problem.
if this helps builders or helps viewers here getting some ideas or get inspired
Yeah.
by something or what have you.
And
I feel like I've fulfilled the purpose. I'm
and
happy
like I
that I can help.
said, you guys on Anvil, if you guys want to try converting some of these goodies, just come into Creative, Alt O this stuff, and play with it. He's cool
Although
with it. Yeah, he's cool
yeah,
with it. Just give him a little nod, tell him where you got, you know, tell him what you wanted to rebuild and do. But I guess we're off. We're out of here. You guys,
yeah.
I'm going to cut this stream just so it cuts the video and probably get back in trying to kill some Xerax. So thanks a lot,
Yeah,
guys. Thank
yeah.
you, Bill
Peace
at
out,
Magnet.
everybody.
All
Oh,
right.
thank you, sir. Have a good night.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am